Oh my God.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another This is how we're gonna start. Dare chat. I am joined by the lovely PutinBot, which I don't know if it's just gonna be what he has, or if he's gonna have like a screen thing or something. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna show his face, which is fine. But anyway, how are you doing, Putin?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm trying to turn on the camera, but it ain't cooperating with us. Rumble Studio and my system have a love-hate relationship, and it's
Yeah.
more hate than love.
Yeah, more hate than love. I understand. No, I found that somehow when you choose the camera thing, when you choose it on the list, when you choose your camera, it didn't work for me one time on other people's Rumble Studios. So I had to go like through what was it? I had to go through like OBS and do the virtual cam, and that
Yep.
I tested it. So, but I've worked with people not being up, up and talking. So if it doesn't work, that's fine. We can work with it. We can do this. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Well, listen, I mean, anytime that you're dealing with someone with a name like mine, the
Yeah.
PutinBot, if
Yeah.
you ain't got some kind of technical difficulties, some kind of problems,
Yeah.
there's something going wrong. And let me see here. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I just shut mine off. I don't know why I did that.
No, brother, you are good. And
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I've dealt with it before, so it's most likely the studio, not you. So I understand.
yeah, well, in OBS, what's weird,
Mhm.
using the virtual camera, using the virtual studio camera,
Yeah.
I'm actually sideways. so you see my chest, but not my head. Well, you see my jaw.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just gonna blame the NSA on it and just call it good.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Just blame it on someone else. That's what life is about, is blaming on someone else, right? Like, it's the
Of
dog's
course.
fault. It's just that the dog did it. It's the dog's fault.
Yeah. Well, hey, I've got 2 teenagers and a dog, so I've got the choice. I got the pick, sir.
It was kid number 2, and it was the dog. So just just get over it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome. Well, thank you for coming on. Oh, my camera. Sorry, I have to. Whenever my camera goes out of focus, I have to turn it off and on. But it's been an interesting time trying to get people on, because you can always get a yes, no, or I've never heard of you before, and I'm never speaking to you again. So it's a difficult road.
Yep. Brother, I get it, and I admire you for what you're doing. It's hard starting a new podcast. It's picking yourself up by the bootstraps, and
Mhm.
any way I can help you grow, this Russian bot's in your corner, sir.
Oh well, thank you very much. Yeah, well, I know people, and the thing of it is, like, I've I've gone over it before, but when people usually put cast at the end of whatever their username is, and I was like, you know, it seems like a weird thing to kind of do, because I thought, well, Daramouthe cast, it wasn't really working, and then Dara cast is like, and then I put it to a vote a long time ago, and only like one person voted, and it was either Dara chat or Dara cast, and the one person voted for Dara chat, and I was like, I'm just gonna go with that.
That works. Democracy in action.
That's right.
Majority won.
That's what majority of one, and I felt leaning going towards that anyway, because I felt like it was different than what normal people gets podcasts, whatever, sure, but calling it cast at the end of it, just be like, whatever, it's just following everyone else. So let dare chat, because we're having a chat. That's what we're
Yep.
doing. So, but you were on the partner program, weren't you? I believe
Uh,
that's.
no, I did not make it onto the partner program,
Oh,
but
okay.
it went from lack of trying.
Mm,
And no, that being said, I know a lot of the people who did make it to the partner program, and so
right.
I just wanted to share the love and support them as much as I can.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm on Rumble and YouTube, more so on Rumble,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I have a good sized channel there. Can't complain. Things are going good, and I just want to just thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here on your show.
Oh yeah, not a problem. I've reached out to uh lots of different people. I mean, I'm not precarious, and like, big or small, either can come on. It's just, the either being seen to get on, or just, so that's why I'm trying to build my credibilities, because people, um I think it's like they have to see it in action after a while in order to give it an ability, a chance, or whatever. And building credibility takes time, but it does help. And getting people on. It's not like, even if I did go down the road like years later, and I was, be able to bring big people on or whatever, I'd still go back down. I'd still go back to the ground floor and say, hey, who'd like to come on? Because you don't see many content creators do that. And the irony of
Well, no, I think that a big part of that, and kind of just going a little bit about my content creation journey. I started on YouTube
it.
almost 3 years ago,
Oh wow.
and I've been on Rumble now for over a year.
Hmm.
And during that time, I've seen a lot of people come, a lot of people go. And
Hmm.
what I've and the way I kind of explain the phenomenon,
Hmm.
there are a lot of people who want to be content creators without doing content creator work.
Yeah.
They want the instant gratification.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm preaching to the choir right now. It sucks early on
Mm.
whenever you're doing a stream and the only person you're talking to is yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's where you have to start, because without
Yeah.
that consistency, without that discipline,
Mhm.
you're never going to get built up to the point where people are actually going to start going, and you'll start developing a following. So you got to spend 6 months or a year talking to yourself.
Well, I've done that most of my life, so I'm already
Yep.
there.
Yep. Hey, but then you're in fine company, sir. I'm a Russian bot with a southern accent living in Montana. So it don't get more abstract than that.
Yeah, that's like a Freudian slip on something. I don't know, like an Albert
Yeah.
Einstein. You just throw a bunch of things in there. It's just crazy, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, but what is the? Because I because I know, yeah. So you said you weren't on the creator program, but what was the type of content you create for yourself then?
Well, what I do is I'm primarily a variety gamer streamer,
Mm, nice.
and so most of what I do is gaming.
Hmm.
And I am actually starting a small podcast that I'm going to start doing on the side, uh, just to diversify, just kind of go out
Yeah.
and just bring more eyeballs. Not everyone's a gamer, but a lot of
Hmm.
people are gamers. And one of the things that I have discovered over time is um, people like to game. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're right, left, middle, apolitical. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
People like to go in, and everyone likes to see a pixel get hit in the face, but not everyone likes to have a deep conversation.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to do, I talk relatively slow, but I think really fast.
Right.
And so I like having the conversational piece of it, as well as just streaming 2 or 3 hours of games every few days here on Rumble or YouTube.
Hmm. I I think the longest I've ever done, and it was it was a two different things in one stream. It was probably close to a little over 4.5 hours, or 4.5 hours. But the thing of it is, right, is like I only go. So if it's just myself, right, if it's just a solo stream, I probably go for a little close to an hour. Now I did have chat help one time, and that was 2 hours. So when you have chat, there's an extension of the time. But usually, some of these streamers, when they play games, they go 7, 8 hours, which do whatever you like. But for me, it's sort of like when you feel that point of the end coming, like internally, it's sort of like, okay, now we're gonna wind down and just go. Because it's sometimes when you push past the point of, or what, not organism, but organically, it just hits a weird road.
It does, and I think you'll typically find that more on YouTube than you do on Rumble because
Mm,
YouTube has the more arbitrary uh, benchmarks that you have to hit before you get monetized. Like
yeah.
you got to have the watch hours, and
Mm,
then you got to have the subscribers,
mm,
and so you've got that push. So YouTube really is going to reward those longer streams,
mm,
but and this is one of the things I always kind of impress on someone. Okay, so congratulations, you just put 8 hours into a stream.
mm.
How many nickels did YouTube pay you for your day?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're a Dan Bongino or a Tucker Carlson, yeah, sure, go for it. Chase those dollars because you have
Mm,
advertising revenue coming in.
right.
You just made $1,000 in one day.
Hmm.
If you ain't doing that, go outside, shovel some snow, go see what the sun looks like, say hello to the wife,
Yeah.
enjoy this thing called a life
Hmm.
because there's more to it than the camera and the monitor.
Yeah. Oh.
At least that's my philosophy anyway.
Yeah. No, that's totally understandable. Like for me, in creating this content thing, I've always said that, there are two questions I came up with that you kind of have to ask yourself. Is one is, what are you going in for, and what do you expect out of it? And as like you said earlier, you do see a lot of people who go in saying, I want what this content creator I followed, and I want that fame or money or whatever. And
Yep.
it's a lot harder on YouTube because it's been around for a while, but it's much harder if those are if your two things like fame or fortune, because they'll only go so far if you're not being authentic enough. And I'm not a professional. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that professional at all. But my thing has always been like to at least stay humble enough about it, because you can only do so much. But it's also kind of like, as you've done, is kind of diversify. Now I did play games in the beginning beforehand, but I just sort of gravitated to this sort of station. I've just kept there because it interests me more when you have different variety of people on. Doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter the level. It's just variety of people, and you get to see perspectives that you wouldn't have if you didn't have them on, right? Like you or Jack Tarlett or whatever. There are so many different perspectives that they'll agree, they'll disagree. You can go off yonder into whatever, and that's why I do this, because of that factor, but because I don't see many creators do that. They invite their circle people in. They try to get higher up people to get more noticeable, which I understand. I kind of in that some way too, but it's not the main goal. It's sort of about having conversations with people of just about anything. And I know that kind of off puts people because they're like, what's the topic? But I'm like, the conversation is the topic. So
Yeah, and I mean, and that's one of the ways that I really like it. Just have a free flow of just a conversation, let it go where it's going to go.
mm,
Because one of the things, if you're trying to be fake,
yeah.
and I found this in my personal life, my professional life, working in healthcare, and also streaming,
Mm,
people have an internal built BS meter.
yeah. Yep. Mm,
And if you're not being fake, or if you're being fake, and if you're just trying to put the best foot forward, just trying to paint some kind of a portrait,
yeah.
you're gonna have a really hard time building anything that's actually going to be worthwhile from that conversation.
Yeah.
At least it's for me. I mean, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like you do,
Yeah.
and so we can just talk to each other, just like two guys on the other side of the country, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about whatever. It
Yeah.
could be talk about dropkick dogs, throwing snowballs at the kids, what's
Yeah.
your favorite rifle,
Mm.
to why the hell is your name PutinBot? I mean, we can cover. There is nothing off the reservation for me.
Yep. And I find it fascinating because when you allow that free flowingness, you begin to find people can there's a natural gravitation to things, right? I mean, I can keep a conversation going. I do it to myself, when I've done my solo streams, but there's some people who they need a reactant to in order to move forward. And those reactor watchers or whatever. But for me, it's sort of like what you find, you eventually find something within the conversation you can gravitate to, and then the water just flows there and you keep going and going. Um, and I mean, with Jack Tarlad, it was close to 3 hours one time that we went to, and it was just it could keep going and going.
Sure.
Um, and again, for me, it's like I mostly see 24/7 new content creators, always talking about what's the day of news, and I'm like, that's great and all. And if something comes up of the day of news, maybe I'll chat about it. But at the end of the day, the main goal is to have a conversation where, again, it's just a lot of different stuff. Oh, hey, Rance.
Howdy, Rats. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, Rance is coming on next week, so I will have
Gotcha.
him on next week. So
I'll
it's
be sure to pop in then and show y'all some support.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's appreciative.
Course.
Yeah, I've tried to support more on Rumble just because of course I've got some of the stock as well, um, but I also see the possibility of its future. Like right now, Rumble Studios, right? Rumble Studios is sort of Rumble's golden goose in a sense because no other platform I know of has their own streaming port because YouTube has theirs, but it's only for YouTube, not for YouTube, and then you can stream everywhere else. It's just for YouTube. I think maybe Twitch has theirs, but I'm not too sure.
Twitch, they don't do a multi-platform stream like this. So what Rumble has done,
Mhm.
especially the way that they're able to multi-stream the multiple platforms at the same time.
Mhm.
For one thing, that reduces the amount of stress on your computer and ever having to do that because everything's going through Rumble servers first and foremost.
Right.
The other thing is for the advertisers, being able to be put into a basket to as you grow to actually start getting be able to start getting advertisements for your stream that you have the ability to approve or disapprove of
Mhm.
midstream is huge. No one else is doing that, and the fact that you're getting paid per eyeball,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they're on Twitch, it doesn't matter if they're on Twitter or YouTube or wherever.
Yeah.
If they're on your stream, you as the content creator are going to get a portion of that. I think that Rumble Studio is going to be a great thing when it's working properly. Right now, it
Yeah.
is not, especially if you're a gamer, hang it up
Yeah.
because OBS and Rumble Studio, it's kind of like a very nasty divorce. The two people hate each other. They're
Yeah.
fighting over the dog. The kids
Mhm.
are over in the next door neighbor's yard because they're tired of mom and dad screaming at each other. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
So once they get that resolved, and for life of me, I cannot understand why the hell Rumble uses one audio channel
Mhm.
for everything on Studio. That makes no sense to me.
Mm. Yeah, I don't. I know there's like some people want to be able to control the volume levels or whatever, which is understandable. But I mean, for the work of progress, it is much. It has sped itself. So right now you can have people on camera during when you're doing say your presentation mode. That that I
Oh, it's
experienced.
huge.
Yeah, yeah, that's huge. That's just StreamYard's thing, and now Rumble has it.
Yep.
The tabs in Rumble Studios, you can now look at just donations, like you could say YouTube. Again, you can see how many people are watching from different areas. There's just a bunch of stuff. Yeah, there's the. Oh, hey Phoenix, thank you for dropping by. Oh, being and out.
Hi,
No, that's all
Phoenix.
right. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're glad you're here. Um, but yeah, but for me, it's like even though it's still rough around the edges, and probably could have stayed in beta for a little while longer. It's
Yeah.
a much better deal for Rumble than say what the other because again, StreamYards is a business
Right.
fit for what it is. But with Rumble Studios, they have it in with everything else. It's trying to be like the Apple ecosystem, right? Where you have the phone, you have the desktop and all that stuff. If you have an ecosystem that works well, you don't have to worry about using StreamYards again. And I started out with StreamYards, but I wasn't gonna pay like $25 a month to use it for like two different links. So I was like, no.
Yep. Oh, brother, I'm right there with you. And I mean, for people who are doing a podcast like what you're doing,
Mm,
Rumble Studio is fantastic.
yep.
It's just where you run into trouble. And the
Mm,
reason I brought in this is because I spent like a week trying to make this work, and I almost was successful.
mm,
But you have to get virtual audio cables. You have to route all the audio through. And the issue is, if you're
mm,
streaming a game
mm,
using virtual audio cables, using your microphone, you're fine. People can
right.
hear you, hear the game, just like what we're doing right now. Works great.
Yeah.
Where you run into problems though is if you're playing a multiplayer game, and if you're running
Oh,
Discord, so then you and the other people are hearing each other,
mm.
you get this hellacious echo
Oh,
because you can't filter it out.
I see what you're
And so,
saying.
so the issue is that one audio port, the microphone and the speakers all go through that one channel.
Mm,
Why they did not release it with at least two different channels, I will never understand. It's kind of like if you're going to do your Thanksgiving turkey
mm.
and you throw it in the oven, let it cook for 8 hours, and pull it out, it just kind of imploded because you didn't thaw it out first. That's
Yeah.
Rumble Studio. I mean, it's a dumb analogy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, we got meat here.
Yeah.
It's edible,
Mm.
but it doesn't look like a turkey. It looks more like ground beef.
Yeah,
So,
but at least they're in sense still working on it. Because if they just stopped working on it, then it'd be worse. But I
oh yeah,
mean, they're still working on it, and so people will voice their things and all that stuff. And the bot company that Rumble bought that's doing Rumble Studios will hopefully get to work on that. But things take time. Like right now, they still don't have the 3 day the 72-hour schedule thing in Rumble Studios. That's still
right,
just for Rumble. And of course, that's for pro patches. And the thing, too, right, is if they are able to work pro packages in more with, say, stuff with Rumble Studio, whatever, then it would be more of a use rather than just for ad free viewing because that's all it is useful for right now. And the 72-hour, but that's only on the Rumble site.
right. No, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing it.
Mm,
It's um, it's just I think it was released early, but I understand why they did it. It's because they wanted to get that patent out as
mm,
quickly as they could. Because what Rumble's doing, not only is it unique to their ecosystem, but they've actually patented the rack system, the way that the advertising works.
oh,
And so that's why they got this part of it out.
mhm.
And like I said, for example, my that good friend of mine is a reporter. She works for Russia Today.
Oh yeah, the one you're telling me about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Manila Chan,
Mm,
great lady. I mean, if you ever want a reporter who's a straight shooter,
yeah.
go to Rumble, look up Manila Chan reports,
Mhm.
and I mean, I moderate her. She does two streams, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. I
Okay.
moderate her channels for her,
Mhm.
and tell you, I mean, she's good people, and she's like you. She has a regular news program that she does weekly
Mm.
with the RT, but then though her podcast, she just goes through and reports on what she finds is interesting. The
Mm.
chat's open, people are able to go in, and what I do is keep the porn bots out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it's a free flow. It's a lot of fun. It's fantastic. So for her business model and what you're doing, Rumble Studio is already there.
Yeah.
It's just if someone wants to stream multimedia,
Mm.
I'm hoping within 6 months it'll come up because one of the things that I've done that a lot of content creators don't do
Right.
is this is actually a job of mine. I actually have a business, West Glacier Gaming LLC,
Oh,
that I
nice.
own,
Mm.
and that is my streaming company.
Oh,
And so
wow.
I use it, and what I do is I go in whenever I get paid. My company is invested in Rumble, and
Nice.
uh, so if people are actually asking, "Hey, can I actually make money doing this content creation gig?" The answer is yes,
Mm.
but you got multiple revenue streams.
Mm.
Rumble Studio is going to be a huge part of that,
Mm.
and you got to have a crap load of patience because it's you and a million other people doing the exact same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do to separate yourself from the other 999,000? And what you're doing right now is one way to do it. It's collaboration, getting
Mm.
around, getting some hick from the backwoods of Montana on, and don't be afraid of just having a fun conversation.
Yeah. Well, and I know, and it's the lady I had on Libertarian Goth, she had made a say of like, little me, why someone like me is like, why not? The point of the matter is you don't realize how many these big content creators, right? I mean, not like multi-millions like Mr. Beast, but ones who have millions or whatever, how many of them are stuck in their circles, and they have some good reasons, right? Trusting the reliable and all stuff. But the thing of it is, right, is that you imagine if you, with all the followers they have, say you have 1,000 followers, right, and whatever you do, gaming, whatever, you imagine you bring on one of those followers of 1,000 followers, you
Mhm.
have content creation for almost the rest of your life because the people who follow you do like being involved in some way, chats there, donations or whatever. But to bring someone on and to play a game with them or to have a conversation with them, whether they're big or small, doesn't matter. The point of the matter is that you've just done something that kind of changes their life a bit. Maybe not like
Yeah.
end of the world sort of thing, but you would have evolved them a little further. And um, when I do my Friday pay it forward streams or PIF streams, I've always seen how much $2 can do. Small stuff,
Yeah.
right? But the thing of it is, right, I'm always surprised at the end of it of like, just like, oh yeah, he's here and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, and $2 can go a long way. Think of that. Small pebble can do a lot. Small
Yeah.
pebble can do a lot.
Well, absolutely. And one of the things I always tell people, and one thing that smaller content creators, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge one by any stretch of imagination,
Neither am I.
but one of the things I always tell content creators who come to me and say, "Hey, Putin,
Mm,
first of all, how can I get people to know me without the troll name that you have? Because let's face it, PutinBot is a pretty troll name. People are going to
yeah.
say, like, what the hell is this?"
Yeah.
But how am I able to compete against all these other thousands and thousands of other small content creators?
Mm,
And I'll tell you the same thing I tell them. Have the one thing that they don't have. You got yourself, and
mm,
have patience.
mm.
Because most small content creators, after 3 to 6 months, they're going to drop out. So just wait them out. Just
Yeah.
keep making content, being consistent, and you will see your channels grow. Is it going to happen over 6 months? No.
Mm,
Uh, what my goal is, I do everything in a 5-year plan.
mm,
Where do I want to be in 5 years? And then whenever I start the new year, I always start everything at zero-based budgeting, assuming that no one is going to donate a single penny to me,
yeah.
because frankly, why should they?
Yeah.
It's their money. The economy sucks,
Yeah.
and I mean, it is what it is.
Mhm.
So I just assume that I'm going to start. I'm going to start every year with absolutely nothing in the till,
Mhm.
and then whatever does come in, I put that towards my expenses, and we just go from there.
Yeah. It, I've been very fortunate enough that people have donated to some degree. Of course, I was like earning pennies on the ad stuff, so
Sure.
I had like 40 something sets at one point. So it's yes, but like with going back to earlier what I said about the questions, right? When people come into this, it's all about what you want to do with it. With this, I wasn't sure of because I didn't think I'd get as far as I do. Like if you look at Rumble, I have over 100 people,
Sure.
and then over on YouTube, I have about 40 people, but I never thought I'd be there. Another thing of it is like one is trying to stay humble out of all of it because humility keeps you in check or helps keep your ego in check because everyone's heads can blow up and fly off into space, fly off yonder.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, it's sort of like I get to do something that I didn't get to do in life, which is talk to other people, whether I see their face or not. But the other thing too um, is that I get to do something I felt other content creators doing. Now, does that mean there isn't someone out there not doing it? Well, maybe, I don't know, but I'm going to keep going at my own pace. I'm going to try to again try to keep bringing people on because it's it's not easy gig still, but to keep going in the manner of this is like a million people. If I could get a million people to talk to, I'd have content for the rest of my life. And
Sure.
it's not like followers in sense, but again, followers, likes, watches, all that stuff. They help build credibility, which is sort of what I kind of do need in order to bring more people on because there's that trust factor, right? Like
Sure.
like with you, what's your name? It's PutinBot, and it's like I don't know about that. I think that's a troll right there.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? That's why I did it,
Mm,
because I mean, the whole reason that I took up the name PutinBot was back in 2016. It's back during the election. I actually put up
mm,
a video on Rumble talking about it.
all right.
And the guy who's a friend of mine, we had been friends for, oh gosh, 15 years.
Wow.
Just a hardcore Democrat, straight down the list.
Mhm.
Well, I'm a pretty libertarian kind of guy. I want a government that's so small I can drown it in a toilet, and I don't want to have a bunch of foreign wars. Let's take care of the
Yeah.
home folks first, right?
Yeah.
Well, I liked what Trump had to say, so I was supporting him. And
Mm.
so this guy, his name is John.
John.
He
Okay.
was just like, the closer we got to election day, just the more militant that this guy became. Like he started calling me a white supremacist and a Nazi, which is
Mhm.
hilarious because he was at my wedding and I'm married to a black woman. So, I mean, this is the kind of cranial rectal infusion
Mhm.
that you're dealing with. Well, towards the end, um, you start saying, all you are is a Putin bot. That's all you are is a Putin bot. Because if someone cannot, if they can't do an argument
Mhm.
or an intelligent conversation or a debate,
Mhm.
they immediately have to start resorting to name calling.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, oh, well, fine. You want me to be your Putin bot? I will be your Putin bot. Thus, Putin bot was born.
There you
I
go.
I will be your boogeyman. I'll be whatever the hell it is you want me to be, but you ain't going to shut me up.
Right. Yeah. That's hilarious. That's sort of taking the spit out of them. Just taking the oxygen out of the room, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just on a political side, I've talked to some people on here, not too deep, but on the basis of like I don't like you kind of have to care in a sense if you're living U.S. because it's just so ingrained. But for me, it's sort of like it's it's fruitless. Fruitless endeavors that try to look like a job getting done.
Okay.
I've told everyone it's like I don't care what party you are. You're really not doing much more than what you think you do,
Yep.
because the action is more important than what your words are.
Sure.
And time again, that's always the case, right? Like actions speak louder than words. Something so simple.
I
But
couldn't
I
agree with you more.
but I can't give a rat's behind about any party or whatever because I just don't see the fruit bearingness that they believe they're doing, right? Because
No.
we have laws, we have all this stuff, and there's always going to be a struggle of what's the right way for this and that of law wise and stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just like, it's all BS. It's all just baloney. If you're not going to get action behind it, then you might as well just keep talking to no one, because that's what's going to end up being. But that's just me. That's a personal perspective. That's stuff I've learned through life. Is just that if you want to get something done, that you need to have action, and not like violent or anything of that nature. But the time of talk is over. The time of action is now,
Right.
because you know. And there's so many idioms that we have. It's just ridiculous. Like lead by example, la da da. All this stuff. It's like we've created so many idioms. It's like pick one. Just pick one.
Well, I think that, and you're going to run into this
Mhm.
the longer that you do this whole content creation thing,
Yeah.
because because primarily what I do, I do a gaming stream, but I also work a lot. I also work behind the scenes quite a bit. I help Manila Chan out sometimes in the background. Sometimes I help a mutual friend of ours out,
Nice.
and they actually live in DC, and they've actually are involved, with the sausage making.
Wow.
And so one of the things that I have come to realize, that the people in power do not care what you and me think, because
Mm,
we're not paying them.
right.
So if someone ever asks me, uh, what can I do, from an electoral sense,
Mm,
to try and make things better, I always tell them your local election matters so much more than the federal one does. Your county
yeah.
sheriff is more important than the president is for you, because the sheriff is the highest authority in your county. That
Okay.
the sheriff could arrest the president, for example. It is in his purview to do it. There is no higher authority in the county than the
Mm,
sheriff.
okay.
So who you vote for locally matters. The
Mm,
higher up you get, not so much. So don't no. I mean, sure. I mean, you can have your preferences.
mm.
Coke versus Pepsi, Mountain Dew or Sprite.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't get to make that decision, because it's some millionaire or billionaire somewhere
Mhm,
that's financing the super PACs that ultimately is going to drive the agenda.
mhm,
So unplug yourself, start reading. That's one
mhm.
of the things that people need to do, very much so. Start reading, educate yourself, and do what's best for you and your family.
Yeah, and the thing of it is I understand that too. Is that there are times where again people are so busy that they don't have time to do that sort of thing, right? To read up whatever, and so they kind of take the short course to
Yep.
stuff or whatever, and that's why you have news and all that stuff. But
Yep.
you're not too wrong in the scale. It's just you're still dealing with human beings, and trying to find the right person to vote is like trying to find that needle in the haystack. Except there is no needle in the haystack. It's just a haystack. So,
Yep. Oh, very much so. And I mean, it is so funny, because I'll be doing a stream. The other day, I was doing a Baldur's Gate 3 stream.
right.
It's a game that's out right now on the computer and the Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, nice.
So me and a good friend of mine, name is Rizzo the Legend, who's also on YouTube and Rumble,
Mm.
and a couple of other guys, we're just on there just playing. This dude came onto my channel, barrels blazing. You're a you're a
Yeah.
communist fascist that supports genocide. Just
Yeah.
started blasting me right there on the chat, and it's just like, yep, thanks for thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And so I'm reading the chat, and everyone's just laughing at this guy, because anyone who knows me
Mhm.
knows that is not who I am. But I mean, you'd be surprised just how people will come in, and just and you can see the amount of social programming that there is. So if
Mm.
you see a name like mine, or if you see a picture of whoever it is that the government says this is your enemy today,
Right.
uh, we're good. This person's bad. If
Mhm.
you see someone saying anything positive about it, or in my case, not even saying anything positive about them at all, just having
Mhm.
to do it on a thumbnail
Yeah.
with the name PutinBot,
Yeah.
I'm just come in. It is absolutely hilarious. You never know what you're going to get on a PutinBot gaming stream,
I
but
believe it.
hey, I'll
I
take the click. I will take the click, brother.
Monetize them haters.
Yeah, and then this dude, after we talked to each other a bit, he actually ended up they'll follow me here on Rumble.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
just like he said, no, I came in fully expecting you'd be some communist snot sucker, and I was going to hate your guts and ruin your stream. And here I am following you. You're actually a pretty funny guy.
Yep.
There it goes.
Yep. I haven't had that. I've had more of like someone who disliked, I think it was someone who disliked me for having somebody on or for talking about whatever. And so I have that sort of thing where I've disliked um but I've never had a real true hater, which I guess is fine for me because I really don't care. I just ignore them anyway. But I, when you're a content creator, you have to learn how to get over those type of people, and of course they'll push buttons like never before.
Oh yeah.
But the thing of it is that you learn how. It's sort of like how to learn how to with angry people, right? Like if you know how to deal with angry people, you have a superpower right there.
Yep.
First off,
Because one of the things that I did is I've worked in medicine for over 20 years. And so I have done everything from just going in whenever a person comes in that just to get a band-aid because they got a cut,
yeah.
to having someone say, hey, my time is almost done.
Mhm.
Would you mind sitting here and hold my hand
Yeah.
until this race is run?
Mhm.
And so you see it all. And whenever you work in the hospital, especially in the emergency room, you see people at their worst and most vulnerable.
Mhm.
If you have a thin skin, you're not going to last there very long.
Yeah.
And it takes a very jaded sense of humor. And if you don't have a jaded sense of humor, you will develop one.
Yeah.
You're going to wash out. And so then content creation was just an easy way just to kind of just slide into it.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, for me, when I first started doing it, it was a hobby. It was just a stress relief. You know, you come home and the wife and the kids would be, hey, how was your day?
Yeah.
And one of the things I told them is that y'all have to forgive me sometimes because there are going to be times I have to lie to you because this is a really rough day. I'm going to come home and I'm going to tell you it was fine.
Mhm.
But then, though, you got to have some kind of a valve to let that out.
Yeah.
And some people turn to booze.
Yeah.
I turned to gaming and streaming.
Nice.
And then I turned to a side hustle. So, I mean, so if you bring in that jaded sense of humor
Mhm.
with the expectation of being humiliated,
Mhm.
especially whenever you have technical issues like right now, you can't see me because Rumble Studio hates me.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Hey, you hear? Hey, that's an important thing for conversation, right?
Yeah.
And, hey, listen, if you want to see what the hell I look like, I'm some white dude with a buzz cut. Just go to PutinBot Game and click on any of the streams. Hell, you're going to see me in all my pasty white glory. I'm here in Montana. We had the sun up in 6 months. I'm as pale as you can get right now, brother. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
how it is. But that's my point, though. Humiliation is good for people. It
Right.
keeps you humble.
Yep.
And just expect stuff to go sideways. Whenever it does, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's how you grow.
I think I got you. I think
Yep.
that's you right
That's
there.
me.
Yeah.
That's me. There I am.
You're
Yeah,
not
take a look right there. It says Raiden Shield. It's just me right there with that little fox lady right there.
yeah.
And the wife was just like, "Should I be worried?" I said, "Well, if I was if I was a pixelated life form instead of a carbon-based one, you damn sure better be." I mean, look at what she's wearing. That
Yeah.
woman's kind of her physique.
Yeah. Well, you're not a bad looking gentleman yourself. I mean, that you would expect someone from Montana to look like. That's sort of what the Montana look right there.
Yeah, one would think, but you know, it's the beard. It covers up the ugly.
Oh.
Yeah, there's my friend Manila Chan right there.
Oh, so that's who she is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try and talk to her. I mean, it doesn't mean it'll be a success of getting her on, but I'm
Yeah, who knows?
definitely looking.
Oh yeah, and then right there at the top, where it says featured video. How was PutinBot born?
Oh
That's
yeah.
just going in. And you know, I really missed an opportunity. I should have put the Russian national anthem in the background of it, but I put that on YouTube and on Rumble.
Mm,
So I didn't want to kick the YouTube channel moderators in the nuts quite so hard. So
yeah.
I decided not just to leave the Russian national anthem out.
Mhm.
But when I announced the building of my new studio, I did have it in on a short.
Okay.
And let me tell you all the hate and discontent I got from that, my brother. It was some good stuff right there.
Oh no, yeah. So before I sent this off, so this is his on Rumble. So just find him at PutinBot Gaming. That's how you'll
I'm
find him.
easy to find. I'm the only
Yeah.
Russian bot that's there.
The Russian bot of misinformation.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it, my brother.
yeah,
I mean,
it
that's I mean, that's how I introduced my streams. I'm your favorite Russian bot, the master of misinformation, influencing elections one gamer, one pixel at a time. And
yeah,
that's just how it goes. And you'd be amazed. There's so many people that you meet, and they're so uptight that you couldn't get a greased BB up their butt when they first come in.
right.
But after 20 or 30 minutes or so, they realize, oh God, this guy ain't a skinhead Nazi after all. This dude's actually pretty damn fun to listen to. And
He's go ahead.
I'm just making fun of the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
People are too serious.
yeah. It's funny what human beings end up arguing about, and it becomes the most silliest of thing. I put it this way, right? I put it this way. If you really want to get down into it, just think of it this way: you are a dust mite on a blue marble circling around a golden sun in a nigh infinite universe, and your worst concern is what something said about you, what someone name called you, whatever. That's your worst concern in life is being name called. I'll tell you something even worse. You're once you go, you may not be remembered after. So
Yep.
just remember that. Oh, hey, Galaxy, what up?
Yeah.
Oh, good to
PutinBot,
see.
nice name. Good to see. Using insults against people that don't know the propaganda. Amen, Galaxy. That's what it's all about.
Yep. And it's just having fun with it. If you again, it's like if you can't have fun with it either, right? If you can't have fun at the someone poking at you, right? Like someone pokes at you or makes fun of you, whatever. It's it does become aware, but if you make fun of it, it turns that energy, that negative energy around into a positive one, and you've just completely baffled them because they're like, wait, you're supposed to be sad. I'm like, why should I be sad when it's so funny?
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is, and again, I've been doing this for a while now,
Mm.
and yeah, I've had people have come up. There's my dog at the door yelling at me, "Dad, let me in!" No, but people will come up. People will reach out to me, said, "So, how do you handle people trolling you, leaving negative comments, or saying mean things to you online?"
Mhm.
I said, "Well, I don't give a damn what they think."
There you go.
I said, "The only people I care about who think about me is my
Mhm.
wife and my two kids.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yep.
If my wife came up to me and just says kind of a nasty, horrible thing,
Mhm.
that would hurt my little pixelated heart. I'm not going to lie. It
Right.
100% would.
Yeah.
But some schmuck who I don't know, that's some faceless person
Mhm.
typing things in the chat box. I don't give a
Right.
crap what you say. And I mean, if you come in, I will have fun with you.
Mhm.
I will troll any troll that's out there with a name
Right.
like PutinBot. You damn sure better be able to troll, or it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, to Galaxy's point, kill them with kindness. Just be funny.
Yeah.
Or if someone starts slaying insults at you, say, "Yep, I'm all that. What you got? Keep it coming." So
Yeah.
keep that engagement coming because the more you comment,
Mhm.
the more you push up this content up in the old algorithm. So please keep it coming. Bring a truckload in. Get your friends. No, go get yourself some NAFO people off of Twitter, and y'all just start just a mass just spamming on my videos, especially on YouTube. God, yes, please do it. Bring it. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I just recently yeah, especially on the YouTube side of things, I just recently so there's a program I use that I recently found out a while ago. It's called Opus, Opus.pro. And of course there's a cost to it, but they do give you a free trial. But it makes clips out of your it can make clips out of your live stream depending on how long this live stream is. And I've
Right.
sort of picked and choose between those, and I've sort of been posting them to all three platforms. So the Twitter X, YouTube, and Rumble. I know Rumble doesn't have the shorts thing yet, but you can still post a short, so it's not like you're out of the thing. Um, but yeah, it's been interesting. I know YouTube in the sense it tries to push shorts, but for me it's sort of like you kind of have to use all your options in order to
Yeah.
be heard more. I know it's kind of a silly thing. I know it probably makes me a little less authentic, but at the end of the day, the tools are there, and if I don't use them, they're kind of just a waste. So why not experiment and see what
Well,
does?
for you, especially with what you're doing,
Mhm.
shorts is almost like poison to long form conversations because people already have a very myopic attention span.
Yeah, yeah, very
And so
short.
now
Yep.
you're training people more and more and more to have a smaller and smaller and smaller attention span.
Mhm.
Where this is something I run into with my day job. I'm a part time content creator and I work full time with a hospital.
Right. Yep.
And I see this just especially talking to a teenager or someone that's 20 years old. Say, hey, what's going on with you? Trying to have a conversation with that person.
Yeah.
They can't do it. It's
Mhm.
they, just mentally, it's just that their minds can't work for more than 150 characters or 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you got to break it down. And I know I'm probably in the minority of content creators, but I'm hoping that Rumble doesn't do shorts because we need to have more longer conversations.
Yeah, no, and that's understandable too. I think I think it's going to be a bit of a not a battle, but it's sort of going to be like two sides because there are people who are asking for it.
Oh yeah,
I'm just stating it as it's a tool to use, and yeah, I know it kind of shortens the span, but just think you have TikTok, and that's not going to help anyone anyway.
yeah,
But it can lead people to at least take a chance of looking at yourself, right? Yeah, now see my stuff the only like I said earlier, the only longest I've ever gone is probably 4.5 hours, but my stuff is usually less than that. More not an hour, a little over an hour. So I see it that this way is right, where most people do 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours. I
yeah,
do close to a little over 1 hour. And so people could just eat through that. They could,
sure.
I mean, probably less so than they say like a 10-minute or 20-minute video, but they can eat through that that content, and then there's people after person. It's sort of like binging a favorite show, right, where you're watching whatever, like Breaking Bad or whatever, and you're going through each episode. I see it that way, but no, I agree, it kind of shortens the span, but then again, we're so tied with the technology, social
Yep.
media, all this stuff. It's not just shorts, it's everything that involves that ecosystem of social media and the video platforming side of that too. So while I do agree with that, I also know as a content creator, I kind of have to put myself in the position of like, I'm just doing it in order to be seen more so that more people have opportunity to come on and say, I'd like to be a part of this because
Sure.
that's where I'm at. Is like I still have to go out and like with you and everyone else, I still have to go out and ask, would you like to come on? Even though
Of course.
even though I probably don't ask it in the best way possible, but um, I just have to use the tools I have, and shorts is one of those tools right now. So while I agree with you, shorts maybe not to be the best thing, but you already saw what the CEO did for the whole uh the TikTok thing, right? Like we were saying,
Yeah.
let's get in a, and the thing that gets me every time that's brought up, right? That whole TikTok Rumble stuff is that it's not TikTok, it's not Rumble buying TikTok alone. It would be Rumble going in with a consortium of people. And every
Right.
single time I see it, people keep saying Rumble's going to buy TikTok or some form of it. And I say, no, it's a consortium with other people. And these people, they become like fake news because it's not just Rumble, it's Rumble and group doing this thing or would.
No,
So
I completely agree with you. And one thing I tell you, if you ever go in a week, if you can't find a guest, shoot me a message, and if I'm available, brothers,
yeah.
yep, I'll jump on and help you anytime. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no,
fun.
hey, I'll gladly take that. I mean, I'm trying to keep from doing the circle thing like I've seen other content creators do, because the thing of it is, right, is that again, you have people who start from the bottom and work their way up, and then
Yep.
they just keep going for the higher stuff. And I'm like, I don't care what your number is at. I mean, I care that you're an actual creator, right, or an actual person, and someone who's not going to make trouble and be respectful. But the thing of it is, right, whether big or small, I've last Saturday I talked to a father and daughter streamer here on Rumble, and the channel's called Heck and the Why, and you don't see a lot of that on Rumble of of course, there's a reason, like, you don't want your kids seen, you want that sort of stuff, but they've already gone past that point, and it's just we had a fun time. The daughter was very energetic, but it wasn't horrible or anything. It was a very great conversation I got to have with both of them, and that's what I'm aiming for. You, big or small, you don't have to be whatever. You just a mic, respectful. We're good.
Sure.
That's all it is. And
No,
and
right there.
yeah, and everything like follows, donos, likes, all that stuff is just a bonus. This is the real deal. This is what I'm going for. This right here.
Yep, absolutely. And that I think that you're going to get rewarded so much more from Rumble with what you're doing than with YouTube. And the reason why I'm saying that
Hmm.
is one is it's a smaller pool of content creators.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so then what that means is that's going to give you more of a chance to go through and collaborate.
Mhm.
And one of the things I would like to do with your permission is I will
Sure,
record this whenever, whenever it's done. I'll throw it on my
sure.
channel and point people over to you
That's fine.
because I mean that's one of the things. What you're doing it right because by going through and collaborating, getting to know people,
Mhm.
especially people who were in the Rumble Partnership Program. I
Yeah.
said, what? No, what was your struggle and stuff?
Mhm.
I would take my struggle was, but I didn't make it. No, your favorite bot did not make the cut. But you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame the fake news for it. The fake news media. It's their fault. But I don't know what metric is that they used, but I know a
Yeah.
couple of them, and I'll be more than happy to reach out and send them a link to this video and say, hey, check this guy out.
Yeah.
Um, and any way that I can help you grow is going to be a net benefit for you because
Mhm.
people in Rumble like having a conversation.
Yeah.
And then if someone comes in, they watch this video.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've seen this PutinBot dude floating around, but I don't know who the
Yeah.
hell this Russian guy is. I don't speak a word of Russian. I have a Southern drawl. But the point that I'm making is that we're able to cross pollinate.
Yeah.
When that tide comes in, it lifts us all up. No one's an
Mhm.
island,
Yeah.
and if you're not able, and but with YouTube, I think the problem you're going to run into
Mhm.
is trying to get the watch hours with a video like this for it to get monetized. How many people are going to sit through and watch it all the way through? That's your problem.
Hey,
You're not going to have that problem on Rumble.
I will say this. I'm not sure, even if I did get the hours and stuff to be monetized. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people who do get monetized run into more problems than they would not monetize. Yes, of course, YouTube's gonna use your stuff, they're gonna make money off of. But the thing of it is, right, is like I've had during when I do my pay it forward streams, I've run into people who are playing music, right? And of course I've gotten the content ID claim, but nothing's happened, no impact, whatever. And of
Right.
course I'm looking into like how can a content creator like be able to play music that's like mainstream or whatever. And there's some sites that have to get a license and all this stuff, but I haven't really tested yet. But so the beginning video you saw was made by an artist called Pogo, and that's on YouTube. But his thing was is that he wasn't going to copyright because it's how you get yourself out there, right? So
Right.
when someone wants to use my only thing is don't use my videos for anything nefarious or malicious. If you do those two things, you'll be fine. Anything else is
Sure.
sort of like it's just how you get out there as of now. And of course, I'm not in it for I'm in it. I am in it a bit for credibility because that's what I need in order to get more people on. But
Sure. But you need to
everything,
grow.
yeah. But everything else after that is a bonus because if you just, again, like we said earlier, if you just go in for the things that people eye on the, make money or whatever, that will just be a fall. And like you said, it 3 to 6 months, and some people just don't have the endurance. And I'm like, I started on YouTube and uploading videos. I made videos through StreamYards because you record videos.
Sure.
Um, and I put them both on both platforms. And of course, videos on Rumble don't really get much traction because they don't have that uh, preference thing on that AI whatever thing on Rumble.
Yep. What I've found on Rumble,
Mm,
and I'm gonna give you a little bit of the secret sauce, at least what's worked good for me.
mm,
Live stream like what you're doing, but whenever possible, upload a few standard videos every week. So if you look through my channel,
Mhm.
You'll find like for every live stream that I do, I upload 3 to 4 clips of different games that I'm covering.
Right, right, right.
The majority. So here, let me just put it to you this way. On YouTube, I've been on YouTube for 3 years now. I
Oh,
started with
wow.
an iPad and now I'm in a
Right.
studio.
Nice.
During that time, I have not made a single penny from YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything that I've got has been from Rumble.
Mhm.
So the way that you do it is one, by being consistent.
Yep.
Second, having those still videos
Mhm.
and do your live streams. The still your standard your videos is what's going to get that passive revenue for you.
Mhm.
The stream is what's going to let people know, hey, I'm here, I exist, come look at me.
Yeah.
To be successful in Rumble, you got to have both those things. If I was an LLC now trying to grow my business,
Mhm.
I would not be on YouTube because I hate the platform. I
Yeah.
despise it.
Understandable.
But I'm looking down. I'm looking down term
Mhm.
because 3 years from now, I want my business, West Glacier Gaming,
Mhm.
to be netting about $100,000 a year.
Nice.
That's net. That's before profit. That's just net, right?
Right. Yeah.
But in order to do that, either A, I've got to become a big Rumble partner,
Yeah.
which I mean it could happen. Who knows? But I'm not going to bank on that.
Yeah.
Or I've got to reach across the aisle, hold my nose,
Mhm.
and work on getting monetized over on YouTube with those scum sucking rat bastards that I absolutely hate. Now, don't ask me what I really think about YouTube, or I'll tell you once you're not streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
I just don't like them. But
No.
if I'm going to get a paycheck, though, if
Mhm.
if uh, if I'm going to be doing this full time in the next 3 years, which is my goal,
Mhm.
YouTube has to be part of the equation.
Right. No, I totally understand it. Don't get me wrong. There are many other people who some people just give up YouTube to come to Rumble. And my thing is, as a content creator, right? I know Rumble all offers us all this stuff, for your speech, whatever. But the thing of it is, right, as a content creator, it's good to have safety nets. When
Yep.
my thing is, one platform should not own your content. No platform should own your content. So that's why I'm multi-platform, right? I put stuff on multiple ends, because yeah, you can be monetized one and not the other. But the issue is right, what happens when one platform goes down? Right?
Right.
If something happens to Rumble again, they get DDoS or whatever. How are people going to view your stuff?
Yeah,
Right?
you're a host.
Yeah.
Well, then take it a step further because you were talking about TikTok earlier.
Yeah.
People don't really understand the overreach that this is. So I'm going to go a little bit political here, and I apologize, but I don't
You're fine.
really, I don't see any way to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
The United States government
Mm-hmm.
is using powers it does not have to
Right.
seize control of a company that has broken no laws with no due process. I don't do
Right.
TikTok. I don't like it. I'm not a short guy. I'm too old, I guess.
Yeah. It's
I'm an old dude in Montana with gray in my beard. Short's in for
that's
me.
right. No. Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But as a consumer, I have that right. Now, what the government's trying to say is that, well, it's owned by the Chinese government. It's not. It's a multinational corporation where shareholders from 120 different countries, the server farms are located in Texas.
Mm.
But if people just watch the 30-second clip on Fox News, listening to Ted Cruz talking about how TikTok is going to result in the overthrow of the United States government,
Right.
then that's what you're going to believe because you're letting someone tell you what to think instead of doing your own research.
Right.
What my concern is, because if you go through and if you do any search online about how Rumble is regarded,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest companies that's leading the charge against TikTok also have a bone to pick with Rumble for the same thing, saying that they're
Mm.
havens of anti-Semitism, militant misinformation, and white supremacy, and all this other crap.
Right. Right.
Rumble was founded in Canada. By the letter of the law, it's a Canadian company.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's located in Florida right now,
Mm-hmm.
but you can make the same argument. Hey, Rumble is it's a haven for all this stuff. It's a bad company. We should go in. We should seize their servers, break it up, force the sale of its intellectual property,
Mm-hmm.
and we can use what we do with TikTok as as a model for how it was done.
Right. Yeah.
People need to wake up, because what happened to TikTok can happen to Rumble.
Can happen to any of them, really.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and that's obviously that's a farther down thing. But before we go any further, so uh, every hour on top of the hour, I set aside some time for guests and stuff to promote themselves. So I have your stuff in the description, at least what you gave me down in the description below. But if you want to promote yourself, go ahead and do that, and I'll do mine after. So go ahead for that.
I mean, really nothing to say. I'm just a dumb hick out in Montana who's a Russian bot who spreads misinformation and influences elections one gamer at a time. You can find me here on Rumble and also on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to piss somebody off, so go subscribe to your favorite Russian bot.
Yeah.
If you really want to piss somebody off, go to westglaciergaming.com. I've got a little store there.
Mm-hmm.
And wear your PutinBot gaming shirt whenever you go to Thanksgiving dinner. I guarantee you it'll start some conversations.
You wouldn't want to find them on your Twitter X, would you, or no?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, he is PutinBot Gaming on Twitter X. I say Twitter X because I don't really I'm not too high on what Elon's selling, because I've been one of the people suspended incorrectly with no reason of why. So Twitter X is what I'll call it, and I'll take that one to the bank. But anyway, while I get to my end, I stream to both I stream to both YouTube and Rumble, and I'll continue to do so until maybe one day I'll add another. I don't know, but for right now I stream both to YouTube and Rumble. I have a fan account on Twitter X at Daramouthe. I also have a Discord at Daramouthe, but it's more of like just to DM. And then, of course, I have my email, which, again, if you want the same opportunity that PutinBot is having, you can DM me at Twitter X, you can DM me at Discord, or you can email me at crazer6@protonmail.com, or crazzer6@protonmail.com. And again, I'm still going to have to chase people. I'm still going to have to go after people. I'm still going to, not in a negative sense, but I'm still going to go after people to come on. But I'm hoping one day I can build up my credibility enough that people will want to say, can I come on your show? And then I won't have to chase as much. But until then, those are the 3 ways to get me: Twitter X DM, Discord DM, or my email. If you want to come on, use any of those 3, and we'll just have a go at it and see where it goes. Because some people are okay in a conversation and some are not, but that's okay. The point of the matter is that we can have a conversation of just about anything, and to see where it goes, you never know. So, but anyway, are you okay? Hey, yeah, Mars, hey, are you okay to go a little more, or do you have to leave?
Oh, brother, I got your books. As long as you want me, I will be the fly in your room. It's not a problem.
That's not a good thing. It's gonna stink. But no, we can go for a little longer. I try not to do because it's the weekday, right? So I try not to go too long, because I mean, it's light now, but sooner or later it's gonna get dark. It's like, ugh. But no, yeah, that's great, because yeah, I it's sort of just trying to be respectful of others' time, and you know how it goes. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, brother, I get it. I mean, it's no, right now the sun's out and it's snowing. So if I'm in here talking to you, I ain't having to shovel snow. I'll send the sun out to do it. So
oh goodness, yeah.
this is a win-win. We can cross pollinate them and them their fields, and the boy can go shovel the snow and build them biceps.
Oh dear goodness, you're one of those as work builds character sort of parents. I get you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Oh goodness. Yeah, no, it's still cold where I am at. I'm in Indiana, so that's
Gotcha.
It's still snowy. He'll be the fly. There you go.
Fly on Pence's head.
Yeah. There you go. Just like get off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Galaxy. What I'm gonna have to do, my next live stream, I'm gonna have to get a picture of Pence with that fly and use it my thumbnail, and I'm gonna credit you for it. I said, this is called a Galaxy Red. He's the one that gave me this idea, and by God, I'll do it. I'll piss off every Republican in the country. I don't care.
As long as you're having fun with it.
No, I'll have a picture of Putin on one side with the fly swatter. and Mike Pence right there, that fly, brother. Well, I mean, like I said, with a name like PutinBot, you got to be able to troll.
Oh yeah. Well, the sticky note is, so there was a streamer. There's a streamer person I follow, Side Scroller Podcast, and Craig, who's the person of the show, he's with others, but he does sticky notes of like I think like high donos or whatever. And it's like, well, it's something to do for like people who donate whatever. But I thought, well, for right now, I'll just do members, and so that person right there, Jessica Reloaded, is a member on Rumble. So when more happen, more will go up, and so on and so forth. But actually, real Republicans hate parents. So go ahead. Yeah, I've seen those discussions, but I did want to say, Happy Mars was the first person to donate to me. So and in for my first donation. Sorry, my first donation. Happy Mars was, and then I believe in first week of March, Happy Mars is going to come on as well. So there you go. The first person who donated is going to come on the show. So it's like, there you go. Yeah,
There you go. That's how you do it.
that's how you
if
do
you
it.
if you really want to just kick over the hornet's nest, get a time, you get 2 or 3 people on, just all come on at one time and just have at it. You ain't got to talk then. Just let them just know each other, and
Yeah,
all's
I
well in the world.
yeah, no, I thought I did have that once, and I felt kind of bad for the one person who's on, because it didn't seem like I felt like he either didn't have an opening or whatever. But I'm a little hesitant to. Yeah, you're welcome, Happy Mars. I'm a little hesitant to do multiple people at once. One is because I don't really think I have enough, and two, because I've seen shows where they have big content creators like FNT or whatever, and they always seem to. It's just chaos. It's just pure chaos. There's person over here talking to there. It's a panel show. Yeah, it's a panel show,
Yep.
but it's a chaotic panel show, and it doesn't seem like you could hear what they're saying, or the guest that's on doesn't really have. They just sit there in the middle, and they're just kind of quiet. They're just kind of listening, and yeah, it's to be on there is kind of a nicer deal, but it feels like you can't have a conversation unless you're like either the head of the show or you're Az, who gets to do a rant or whatever. It's sort of drowning out. And so that's why I try to keep it minimal for right now, so that we can have conversations. But I'm not against having, multiple people on. It's just there's that bumping into each other, like wanting to say something, and it's just all chaotic. And it's like you can't really have something conversational wise.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of times, and I agree with you. Like I've seen that happen whenever people are trying to have a debate as opposed to a conversation.
Yep.
And so that's so I completely get where you're going from there. But I'm going to drop a name for you. If you have something to write on, I'm going
Sure.
to send your information to a friend of mine. He is a mailman.
Oh,
His
mailman.
name is
Okay.
Rizzo the Legend. He is a content creator on YouTube and on Rumble. On
Okay.
YouTube, I'll say he has about 8,000 followers.
Uh,
Rumble, he just got started not long ago. He's up to about 50.
mm,
And
oh,
if you ever want to have a conversation with a guy who has got some stories, I would tell you, Rizzo has got some stories about being a mailman in San Francisco.
this him?
That's him.
Okay.
Freaking hilarious. You will bust a gut talking to this guy. And I mean, he is a natural born performer, and we do collaborations and stuff all the time. Just really good guy. I got to say, he's my brother from another mother. He got the tan, I got the hair. So take it from what you will. But just funny as hell. Just a good guy.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty neat.
if oh man, I mean, some of the stories he's told you just from. I think he's been a mailman for like 10 years in San
Wow.
Francisco.
Ooh.
And and then the Antioch and all the other little cities there surrounding like the suburbs.
Wow.
That boy has got some stories that will have you rolling. And if, like we were talking about earlier, if you're legitimately enjoying the conversation and you're not having to fake it,
Yeah.
your audience is going to pick that up. It's going to grow.
Yeah.
Rizzo he missed his calling. Instead of being a mailman, he should have been a comedian.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, the stories that guy has got, man, freaking
Mhm.
hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and that's also another thing too. Is like um, I was talking to Jack, and I've also said before in the past is that I've also feel like I'm a collector of stories as well because you never know when you can have someone on, and that'll be the last time they've ever been heard of. In front of the camera or whatever. And so,
Oh yeah,
as long as the platform, right, the platform holds the videos. If they delete the videos, there's nothing I can do other than save them as they come. But there is that thing where I feel like I'm a collector of stories, not as like in a negative sense, but it's sort of like you never know. And a same person come on like Jack, who's been on like 4 times already, or Snow, who's been on like two. You can have these collection of stories because again, a conversation you could always have more, and it almost seems like a cup that overfloweth, and you
yep.
just you can go again, you can go anywhere, or you can go back. Like it's too funny and it's too interesting to stop because for me, I'm tired of 24/7 news stuff. I'm tired of you can talk about the news of the day if you want, that's fine. But there's so much human history, right? Or something out of human history that we could pick out and just ball over and or whatever,
Oh yeah,
it's so the river is wide and it seems like we only focus on this narrow channel. And again, I don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect in doing this, but I do feel like there's this empty spot where content creators have this key and they kind of just like, yeah, but we'll stay in our lane, which is an odd thing to say.
uh, so talking about stories, I'll go and
Yeah,
give you one now.
sure.
As I told you, I grew up in the deep South. I grew up in the Redneck Riviera.
Ooh.
So that's the Florida Panhandle, South Alabama. Well,
Mm.
there ain't a whole hell lot to do in South Alabama on a summer day,
Right.
and so for whatever reason, I got bored and I decided I was going to blow up a street. I, I I kid you not. And talking about staying in your lane. Well,
Yeah.
sure, we could come on. I could talk to you about TikTok and stuff, and we could do the exact same thing that the other 300 people are doing,
Yeah.
talking about Biden's overreaching. Well, hell,
Yeah.
everyone knows that. But what about the real news of the day, which is PutinBot blew up a street when he was like 16 years old and ended up
Wow.
spending all night up in a tree to keep from getting caught by the cops? Yes, sir, that happened. I mean, brother, I've got some stories. And my son told me I should write a book one day and name it Scar Tissue. I mean, the stories, man. People have forgot how to tell stories, and it's a crying shame.
Well, and that's a funny thing too, right? Is that if you look over stuff like you have to ask yourself like, how did we get idioms? How did we get stuff like the short things that we kind of lean on for life lessons, like the curiosity killed the cat and all that stuff? It's because somebody at some point in time just made it up to be a life lesson that is pretty much the same throughout history. There's certain things throughout human history that are able to hit on because we hit it we deal with things in a certain manner. It's just the technology and stuff has changed over time. And
Yep.
so, but this thing of it also is like it also leaves a legacy. You won't be remembered by name, but the story could be.
Yep.
And the reason why I say on the legacy matter is because you already see them tearing down statues of old stuff. They've been doing it for quite some time. So statues don't last forever unless they're so big, like the Pyramid of Giza, that it'd take them too long to tear it down. But when it's something like the George Washington statues, it's like, meh, just blow it up.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. And like I said, another funny story time. So
Mhm.
my wife and I, we moved up here to Montana in 2010.
Okay.
Well, January 19th is Robert E. Lee's birthday.
Right.
And
Okay.
so back home, it's called General's Day. And it's also, conveniently enough, Martin Luther King Day. So we just fine. We do it all on the same day. But now here's what's really fun
Hmm.
is that we put up a Confederate battle flag,
Hmm.
the old rebel flag,
Right.
out in the front yard in commemoration of the holiday.
Hmm.
Diversity is our strength, right? So I'm bringing some diversity up here to Montana along with my wife. Well, our neighbor, he was looking over at us and he's like, excuse me, sir. I was like, yes, sir. He said, is that a rebel flag that you're putting up there in your yard? I said, well, it's a Confederate battle flag.
Yeah.
And he looked at my wife and he said, but you're black. And so she looked at her hands. I said, oh, by damn, I am. I never noticed. And this is the kind of story that you're not going to be able to get. If I was staying in my lane,
Yeah.
you would not be getting these little nuggets of Southernisms been imported to Montana.
Yeah.
From a dude who blew up a road with the name PutinBot. I mean, you know how Shrek said the people are like layers of an onion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Brother, that's me. And I will make you laugh so hard that you cry with some of the stories I've got for you. It's freaking hilarious.
I believe it, and it's a funny thing too, because the conversation can lead to, you never know what someone will say. I mean, obviously there's a within reason line, right? Like there's always going to be a within reason, but I mean because I stream to both, I've had people curse, and that's not a big deal to me. I don't really care. Of course, there's like a first section of it where you can't, but then again, I have the intro video, so that takes care of it. So it's like whatever after that.
Right.
I know probably maybe certain things, but at the end of the day, I'm like, look, this isn't about whatever. I'm not getting paid on YouTube, or I'm not getting money from YouTube. But at the end of the day, it's like I can still do something that can have conversation, not to censor. And I don't want to censor anyone. It's just there are the no words, the really big ones. The other ones are
Oh, yeah.
fine. And then like I don't think you can say the C9. I think you can't say the whole of C19, but you can say Coover stuff, whatever. But I don't really care. It's just at the end of the day, it's sort of like, while I understand for the YouTube faction, and of course Rumble still has its issues as well. The point of my thing is like, you're coming on. There are just a few things. That's it. Like if you just put up like 3 things, boom, done, and then everything is just a free for all. Let's go. There's people limit themselves because they can't see the options past what they're used to, I think, or they can't get creative enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that some of it also, the guest has to have enough respect for you to be able to have a pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
Because if someone comes in, I know if I was tuning in to watch a free form content, a podcast like this,
Mhm.
if the guest every other word just turn the air purple because he's just cussing up a streak and it can't actually articulate a thought without a cuss word,
Yeah.
I would just assume that the dude doesn't have a vocabulary and move on because there'd
Yeah.
be nothing of interest there. And also from a content creator standpoint, which of course I am, I
Mhm.
also want to make sure that you don't get monetized because I'm being an idiot on YouTube. I mean, I've already got the name PutinBot. You've already got them looking at you. So let's not add any fuel onto that. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you can tell a good story and be funny
Mhm.
without having to be, without auditioning for Howard Stern's show.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. It's just I don't want to be too restrictive on what can or can't be said. And even so, like I said earlier, maybe I don't want to be monetized on YouTube because there's a lot more restriction that comes with being monetized than not.
Right.
And there are ways of getting around it, right? Like I monetize on Rumble. If I know you probably don't like it very much, but Rumble's gonna have a raid feature. Rumble's talking about having gifted subs. You can
Yep.
donate, and I get more of a cut from it. There are other ways of getting money on. If you want to donate, you don't have to donate. That's fine. But the thing of it is, there are ways of getting around YouTube, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to play that game. I can just stay unmonetized, and people can support me around that sort of black hole right there.
Yeah.
But
But, but, you,
yeah, go
but you
ahead.
know what? Uh,
Yeah.
what all the content creators on Rumble need to realize
Yeah.
is that as Rumble becomes a bigger competitor to YouTube, which
Yeah.
I think within 5 to 8 years, it's gonna be a major competitor, especially with their new rack system,
Yeah.
with what they're doing here at the Rumble Studio.
Yeah.
Once they're able to figure out how to make it work with OBS, or even better, just incorporate all that stuff into one platform, would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
When that starts coming out, that's when the accusations are going to really start flying.
Mhm.
And that's when they're going to start trying to label everybody on Rumble as some kind of as a right wing supremacist, neo Nazi, swastika worshiping maniac
Yeah.
because you can't win the argument, like we talked about before, then you got to start resulting in insults. And then they're going
Yep.
to start putting on the pressure and stuff from the different advertisers. Because at the end of the day, Rumble needs money just like we do to survive.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so um, I see my days on YouTube as being numbered, being
Yeah.
completely honest with you. May hell with a
Mm.
name like PutinBot, how could it not be?
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm going to run that buggy till the wheels fall off.
Yep. Might as well. I might as well. And I don't see the numbered fee, the days numbered sort of thing, because I'm not even at a year yet, but I do see it being kind of 50-50 with being monetized because of getting those insults. Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. Rumble is already
Yeah, big
getting those
time.
insults. Yeah. So it's not like it's not there, but it's not as wholly compact or whatever that would be. Um, but yeah, I don't see it as numbered like you do. I just see it as if I was monetized, I would be probably 50-50 of either I'm going to get hit or not. And I'm really sick and tired of those big content creators, or at least content creators that have like a couple thousand, whatever. They're going to YouTube support. They're saying, I've been demonetized, I've been this, I've been that. And I'm just like, but why are you only streaming to Rumble? Why do you only, or YouTube? Why do you only? And I'll say that with Rumble too. If
Sure.
you only stream, from my perspective, if you only stream or put yourself on one platform, you are cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Yep.
That's the truth.
No, I
I
agree with you 100%.
I I
As much
get.
as I hate YouTube, I like their money.
Yeah, well, everyone likes that money. It's the Google money right there. But
Yep.
my thing has simply been is like, content creators, no matter where you are, need to multi-platform, because I
Yep.
don't care who you are, I don't care how special you think you are. If you aren't multi-platforming, you're an idiot, and I will say that to your face. How are you? Are you? I know there's some on here that are just Rumble only.
Yep.
That's their choice, but I will say you need to multi-platform because you're just doing yourself a disservice. You're being dumb. A person who is trying to make money for themselves, right? They're going to try to do multiple revenue streams of revenue, because
Right.
that's a smarter way than just saying, "Oh, I'm just going to rely on having a job and seeing how that goes." Because nowadays, with like wanting to retire and whatnot, you can't rely on retirement to come through. You better start figuring out how you're going to add other streams of revenue to it, because it's not going to work out very well. Just look at what's going
Yeah.
on now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Brother, I cannot agree with you enough. And
Yeah,
that's one of the things that I know so many content creators
yeah,
who are solely on YouTube because they honestly think that you have to be on YouTube to be successful, that there's no other option. They are completely mind captured. And then I try and show them that the success that I've had on Rumble,
mhm,
and they're like, that's really impressive.
mhm,
But I still only do YouTube. And my whole thing is just do both. I'm not saying you gotta quit YouTube.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm agreeing with you 100%. Do both. And if the YouTube sync ever gets restored, which God knows when that's going to be,
yeah,
that'll be great for content creators all the way around. But until that happens, maybe take it upon yourself, maybe invest a few hours of your day into building your business and start manually moving your crap over. It's not
yeah.
that big of a problem.
Yeah, I will say that I have seen, for me personally, I understand why some of the content creators on Rumble started showing their how much I'm making on here, sort of
Yep.
thing. But for me, it's like that's kind of false advertising, because not everyone who goes over there is going to make that amount of money, or even if
Yep.
they push for that long of time, will get there. What you should be telling people is, look, this is the difference between Rumble and everyone else. If you want to make content for yourself, then and make some money along the way or whatever, or be monetized and maybe you'll get something out of it, try it, see what happens. But don't go
Yep.
showing your your amount you're making and thinking that that will be you like them. No, no, no. I don't. I probably maybe once would show just to show like, oh yeah, this is how far I am or whatever. But I'd quickly go away from that because you, the person who's going to be doing this, you are not going to have that same experience like me
Nope.
or Putin or Galaxy Red or whatever because you're going to have your own individual experience, pay wise as well. Those content creators that are showing you that check, they're not putting out there like this may not be you. You may not
Yep.
get here. I'm just showing you the possibility. That's what it
Yep.
should be, just showing
Well,
possibility.
well, it's not only that, but no, I think about a month ago, I shared my year to date earnings over on X, and I did
Okay.
in a direct response to this person on YouTube saying, going after Rumblers, people on Rumble saying it is impossible for you to make money on Rumble. It is a scam. It cannot be done.
Mm-mm.
And so I was like, okay, well, fine then. Let me show you what I've done. And so I went
Yeah.
in there, I grabbed the snapshot, tagged Rumble on it, and said, listen to me, snot sucker. This is it right here. Now, I don't mind you if you don't like the platform or something, that's fine. You think it's too political, which in my opinion, Rumble's not political at all. Does have political shows on it? Sure, but it's not a political platform. And then to go through and just start trying to just say that Rumble is ripping content creators off, it's scamming them, that you cannot make money, that you are the product. I'm just like, I've got to show the world just how full of crap this person is. And so guilty, brother, I did it. And I nailed that sucker on that tweet and said, put up or shut up.
Yeah, nut up or shut up. Yep. Yeah. No, and I again, if you do it, I'm not going to come at you and say you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying from my perspective, it seems like it's a bit of false advertising because everyone's experience is going to be different. Like if you like the Rumble community has built itself up enough that it just spreads around between different people. But even communities themselves can fall flat on themselves, and that's also that's also a caution that people should be wary of. Like make friends if you want, but please remember that you must be cautious that you're dealing with another human being and they have their own biases and their own wants and all this stuff. And so friendly, nice, great. You could be friends or whatever, that's okay. But just be cautious. A little caution goes a long way. That's what I'll say, a little caution.
One of the things I always tell people who ask me, hey, Putin, what is it like being a content creator? I said, you're doing about 20 to 30 hours of work every week that you're not getting paid for.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like in your case, you're chasing guests. Mm-hmm. You're not streaming. You're not making content. You're the dog chasing the car. You're not making money off of that. Whereas with me, if I'm having to, put together a gaming stream, I'll go through. I got to find the scene that I want to record. I got to rip it, go in, do the editing on it.
Yeah.
A 20-minute clip, like say for Raid Shadow Legends, takes about 3 hours of editing to do. Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is. And then you go through, and so it's all said and done. You have 6 hours invested in this video, throw it up on YouTube, and no one looks at it. It happens.
Yeah.
And you've got to go in with eyes wide open. Nothing makes you special. Nothing's going to guarantee your success. And the only thing you can do is just be consistent with your content.
Yeah.
Support other streamers. That's the biggest thing you can do. Mm-hmm. Because that's how people are going to get to know you, is by you reaching your hand out to them. Mm-hmm. They then are going to return the favor if that streamer has any gumption at all. Mm-hmm. And that's how it's going to work out. Do collaborations and expect for the first year or two, you'll be talking to yourself. Yeah. So I mean that's the reality of the business.
Yeah, and I probably only got like maybe 5 to 6 months in, and then I started getting like some chat, but that's very dependent. But anyway, I wanted to get for Galaxy One. While I get that Galaxy, I don't want to censor either. It's just I would make it as less restrictive as possible, towing that line, and then whatever, right? Like there are ways of getting around things. I don't, I know you want to speak as freely as possible, but there's understanding is also that as a content creator, I don't want to stay stuck to one place because that platform owns my content. And if I just leave it there, if something happens to that platform, I'm screwed. No one else can see it because, like the DDoS stuff, right? The stuff that's happened to Rumble in the past. Hey, if something happens, no one else can view it because it's like, oh, it's stuttering, oh this, oh that, and you're just like, So I get what you're saying, and that's fine. For me, it's just like, as a content creator, got a multi-platform. Watch me wherever you want. That's fine, but just realize that I won't censor myself because I don't curse. So that's pretty much out the window. I don't curse. I can make up words. Making up words is a lot more fun anyway. So
Oh, very much so.
yeah. And the other faction that you notice that, yeah, the political stuff, but then again, Rumble does it to himself when they show like on their front page, right, where they're live or whatever, it's mostly politics. And so until they get that AI personalization in, it's still going to play against them because they're still showing like a huge chunk of I know they did the bar stools, that's fine, but there's still a lot of more politics on the front screen when you come into Rumble than there is of anything else, at least for now.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? No, that may change. But one of the things that I do, Galaxy, and I agree with you. Personally, I prefer Rumble. Just being a small business owner, I would not be doing myself to only be doing business on Rumble, especially since I'm not a Rumble partner. I'm not getting any kind of a kickback from them.
Right.
But now what I do is all my content's always released on Rumble first.
Right.
So if you want to see the new stuff from PutinBot Gaming, you got to be subscribed to me on Rumble because you're going to see it like 2 days ahead of anybody else.
Right.
And then if you're one of the YouTube gutter snipes, well, then you're going to see it 2 days later. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. But if you're one of the chosen few that's over there on Rumble, you're going to see it first, and you're a lot more likely to, if you make a comment, to get a reply to it. Get a reply on Rumble because Rumble's where I am primarily.
Yeah.
So as a content creator, that's how I try to promote Rumble with my business.
Yep.
And I think it's a smart way to do it. You can't just put yourself in one fence, but you can definitely prioritize one pasture over another.
Yeah. Yep. I have that's what I feel like too, is like you can have a home base, but always remember that your home base you should still, spread yourself out there, but not too much. Like I'm only doing YouTube and Rumble because that's right now all I can handle for per se. But if you make a place your home base and then spread yourself out, you're probably doing yourself more of a service. And again, people can go wherever they want to watch you at, and that's totally fine. It's just as a content creator, I feel, in my perspective, you need to multi-platform because again, we saw what happened to Parler when they weren't, when they were on, Amazon's own thing. We saw what happened to Alex Jones when he was on multiple places and he kept getting taken down. I think Rumble was the last place he was on. But the thing of it is, right, if he hadn't had, and his own website too, he has his own website, but if he hadn't multi-platformed himself, one place and he would have been gone and you probably never heard of him again.
So Galaxy, you're a gaming streamer?
Oh yeah, other than I'm not going to be doing content game streams. Okay, yeah, so I guess he is a game streamer. I can start anywhere. Yeah, no, that's understandable. You do what's best for you, and that's what matters. From my perspective, I just don't see it being viable to just be in one place or stuck to one place. That's just my perspective and only my perspective. Agree or disagree, always do what's best for you. Always. Never listen to me, never listen to PutinBot or whatever. Always.
Oh, never listen to me. I'm going to give you all kinds of misinformation. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I did say they were on Amazon. So yes, it is true, but they weren't prepared for what happened next. And that's sort of like where Rumble's having to build from the ground up and Parler had to use someone else's stuff. And, Parler learned its lesson and Rumble's learned from that lesson too. So while the only last thing that could happen is like the ISPs could shut down Rumble and any other website, whatever, or connection to, for right now, if you aren't building your own space, it kind of will bite you in the butt, and Parler learned that. So, but that's again, all this stuff is all I'm saying is on my perspective, do what's best for you. and go from there. Support your creator wherever you want. Like I follow Geeks and Gamers, or Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and he streams to Kick, YouTube, and Rumble, which is great. And for a while I was like, why won't you do something exclusive whatever on Rumble? But after a while I began to see like that doesn't make sense, because one, like revenues of like streams of revenue, multiple streams can equal to multiple revenues just coming from different places, right? Whether big or small. And
Well,
yeah, go
one thing that I would just kind of throw in there,
ahead.
if you're gonna be streaming games, one thing, guys, you go ahead and follow me, and I'll return the favor. We'll set up a collaboration, and I'll be happy to collab with you anytime. Just let me know if it works out for you. But my point about games, if you're playing a game, like I'm starting to cover Cyberpunk.
Oh wow.
Cyberpunk has nudity in it.
Yeah.
Don't stream that to YouTube.
Yeah.
So that is going to be your Rumble exclusive stream, because Rumble is a lot more relaxed on that kind of thing than what YouTube is. Because if you have the pixelated tatas pop up on your screen over on YouTube, bad things could happen to you. Like your channel could go away.
Yeah.
Rumble's a lot more forgiving. So know your game, and if that ain't an issue for that game, absolutely, I agree with you 100%, Dara. Stream that sucker through every platform that you can. Get them eyeballs, chase those pennies. That's what it's all about. But if you are streaming a game that's got some adult themes and content to it, make that sucker a Rumble exclusive. Let your people know on other platforms. If they want to see this, they have to follow you on Rumble.
Yeah, and a thing about it too is, right, Rumble also owns locals, and so you have two sides of the same coin. It's sort of, because you could, right now YouTube has the members only stream, and I think maybe Twitch does too. But the thing of it is, right, it's Rumble doesn't have that for memberships, and of course they're gonna bring some more stuff out for memberships later this year. It's just members only stuff would be nice, because then that gives memberships on Rumble more incentive, right? But majority of that's the other half with locals, because they have subscriber only stuff, they have this, and it's sort of like maybe one day they'll combine them, I don't know, but it feels like you've already bought the thing, just try to figure out how that could work with the one thing you want to do. So, but that's just me.
No, I agree with you, and it's weird. Like I set up a locals account, but it has nothing in it.
Yeah.
Because I'm primarily a gaming channel.
Right.
I mean, who's going to go watch me play a game behind a paywall?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes no sense. If I could pull that off, I'd be the greatest Russian bot in history. But it just ain't there right now. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, you'll be better than Putin himself. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can make that happen, brother, I mean, my hands off to you. I'll come and I'll join a membership too. So that way you can show me how you did it.
with this PutinBot, it does this thing where, oh, I'm sorry if you're right, so whatever. It's hilarious, but yeah, it's sort of like no, Galaxy's right. It's like it's their own version of Patreon, but the thing of it is, like, Patreon has the stuff that should be on Rumble, because again, there needs to be more for just having a membership than just emotes, because that's the issue right now, is it's only emotes. But they have stated that there's going to be more. It's just the when factor. It's going to be this year, but when. So
one thing that I do hope that Rumble does, and this is more on the content creator side than the consumer side,
right?
I don't like that Rumble goes through PayPal to pay us.
Yep.
Because PayPal has a history of deplatforming people and businesses. And as Rumble becomes more of a threat, when those accusations start coming, then your virtually signaling money processing companies are going to start dropping this kind of stuff, and that's going to be a problem. So I do hope that Rumble gets away from PayPal sooner rather than later.
There was so the Quartering, who is a big proponent over here, he had Chris on, and they had talked about that, and Chris is, they're looking into it, they're looking at what else they could do, but for right now, my biggest concern is that there are some people for right now not getting their pay once they reach the threshold, right, or over the threshold. There's still some people that are not getting their creator payout from Rumble, and that's a big red flag concern. And the reason is because if you want people to come over and trust you and all that transparency stuff, that's where you have to work on, right? I know there's going to be other things too, but the people who earn money on your platform and they've reached past the threshold, which you've stated is $50, if they reach it, but they can't get paid, whether it be by check or PayPal, that's not an issue you want to have, because even if it's just a few slipping through the cracks, the response should be, we'll get back to you. There should be, for me, from my perspective, it should be, if there's an issue, the response back to that person should be no more than a week, because obviously
I
there's a
agree.
lot, there's obviously a lot of tangible stuff, right? So you have to be aware of that. But there's been people who have gone through the correct process of going through support Rumble and all that stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
about oh,
I
see
was
what
one
you're
of them. I was
Yeah.
one of them. My first paycheck from Rumble was about 4 months late.
Yeah, and there were a few guys I talked to, and I'll bring this up at the roundtable that Lumpy's having tomorrow. But I'll bring it up and say, look, this is a big concern. This needs to be taken care of now. I know the two one of them I talked to said it got in the email they got back. It said it was elevated to the finance part of Rumble, but they never heard anything back after that. That's a no-no. That's a no-no when you're trying to promote all this stuff to make you look good. If a creator cannot get payout within a reasonable time, and yes, there are certain things that are going to get in the way. Maybe was a mix up on like a address, whatever. That's totally fine. But work with the creator, get it done, because the more people you have not getting paid once they've reached past that threshold, the more I'm worried someone's going to try to sue Rumble because they didn't get their pay. Obviously, that might not go through, but once the news gets out of someone trying to sue Rumble for not getting paid through the platform, that's going to hit them hard, and they don't want that.
If you know content creators who are going through that problem, their PR person is on Twitter. It's Mario DeLuca.
Mario DeLuca, yep.
I followed the guy and I blew up his inbox because he's actually one that handles the support at Rumble email address.
Okay.
So I went through like a week of emailing them and not getting any answers at all. So I'm right there with you. I'm a small business owner.
Yeah.
Customer service is everything.
Yep.
And so, getting ghosted is bad. And so I just started blowing them up on Twitter and on email. I finally was able to get a resolution, but it took like 3 months for it to happen. Because no, I mean it was horrible, because especially I was trying to go through and I was trying to set up my my studio and stuff. And so I was telling them, like, hey, I'm not going to go into debt for this. I'm coming over to YouTube because I'm tired of their crap. I'm coming over to you because you are the free speech alternative to YouTube. But I can't get a reply, and you're holding up a significant amount of money.
Yep.
And so, well, I'm forwarded to finance. I said, great. Who can I talk to at finance? Because they obviously ain't getting the message. I speak English, not Russian. Let's have this conversation.
or Canadian.
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. But have you ever heard someone try to speak French with a Southern accent?
No.
I ain't either. But I was damn sure willing to give it a whirl. But no, I'm right there with you. Rumble, they need to do some work on their back end.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like if I keep hearing, I mean, I don't know the back end of like if someone's telling the truth or not. I can only go by what they're saying. And if I keep hearing it, I'm going to keep stating it. And it should not be, it's like with the report button, right? Like the report button should have not been a last thought. Now, of course, you can have people who misuse and abuse it. That's going to be a case. But the payout alone should not be something that should take for a content creator forever. Like in your instance, which was 3 months.
Yeah.
That's bad customer service. I don't care who you are. Yeah, I don't care who you are. I don't care how you are. I don't care how well or bad you look on me. That is bad customer service. You want people to use your platform. You need to give a better response of like, okay, we're working on it. We understand it's been a while. We're trying to get there. Even if you're just updating them stating, look, we're working on it. We're trying to get it worked out through our finance. We'll get to you as soon as possible, and keep them updated. You've already doing a better job than you're doing now. Content creator payout should not be a last thing. I don't care about updates compared to content creator payout. It needs to be done and it needs to be taken care of now because the small people who slip through the cracks shouldn't. And Rumble support should not be in this position where like, oh, we'll just elevate it and nothing ever again. I
Well,
haven't had issues, but
one of the things that I always encourage content creators to do, look at the type of account that you have. Most people have a free account.
mm,
If you're a content creator, do yourself a favor, listen to your favorite Russian bot. This is not misinformation. I'm telling you the truth for once.
yep.
Go ahead and upgrade it to a publisher account.
Mm,
And the reason for that is once you hit that $50 threshold,
yeah.
the transfer starts automatically.
Interesting.
If you have a free account, you have to initialize it yourself, and that seems to take a whole lot longer for a lot of people. So if you are a content creator, so Galaxy Red, this is for you. Upgrade your account to a publisher account. It's still free, but once you hit that $50 threshold, it will go straight to your PayPal account. There's nothing you have to do on the back end.
Yeah, that'd be nice too. Is like if there's a way of automating at least that part where it hits that number, that hits the threshold, right? Because there's a threshold requirement. Once it hits that, the check. I don't know how it works for the check thing. I think it's like once every like at like a certain day and every month where the total amount gets put on that check and it goes. I'm not sure, but for like the PayPal stuff or whatever payout thing they get or do, it should be on the dot when it's at least when it reaches that threshold. And yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get a paycheck from Rumble every month.
Mm,
But when those accounts go from being approximate to settled, if there's a rhyme or reason behind it, I couldn't tell you. Sometimes it happens on the 10th of the month, sometimes on the 20th, sometimes on the last day of the month.
yeah,
I mean, you can't plan behind it. So just always figure, kind of treat Rumble like if you're working a normal 8 to 5,
yeah.
figure that you're always working in the rears
Hmm.
and you're going to come out ahead that way. Don't ever expect it to have an actual payday from Rumble because there ain't
Yeah.
one. It just you wake up one day, check your email, and say, "Oh, you've been paid." So nice.
You've got mail.
This is the day.
Yeah, hooray! I've made it. Thank you.
Yeah, but the thing that pisses me off the most about Rumble, since we're on this whole tirade right now, it's kind of fun. If you
Yeah.
go into your stats and analytics page,
Yeah.
what is the difference between a raw view and a unique view? And can someone please explain it to me?
I'm not-
Because I have no idea.
Well, neither do I. I remember hearing someone say they explained it a while back, but I don't know how far back it was. That would be an as they build on it would be interesting because I know people are going to play like bots and stuff and all that, and it's just like, oh, okay, but how do you know that YouTube doesn't do the same sort of thing? It's
course
just
they do.
that maybe they hide it better or whatever. But my thing is for right now, content creator payout should be priority number one. I know they were working on the cloud. I know they were trying to get that out. That's fine. It's out now. Content creator pay, I don't care who's listening. Content creator pay needs to be worked on and needs to be worked on now. That is a very big red flag concern. If you
Yep.
don't do it and more people come out, guess what? If they all get together and they try to sue Rumble because they weren't getting paid, guess what? That's a black stain on Rumble and they can't be trusted. I've already got two people, third person, well, a third because I talked to her a while back, still chasing it months after. Get it together, get it together now. Look better on the customer service side now than wait until you're like, well, we didn't know. We weren't told. I don't give a rat's behind. These people are coming to your platform. Whether they earn money or not, they deserve the same sort of business acumen that you would give everyone else. It needs to be done. It needs to be done now.
So here's what I did is a little bit of a kick right in the balls, just kind of what
Right.
you're talking about.
Right.
Is when I came over to Rumble and made Rumble my flagship platform, a lot of YouTubers who I collaborate with
Mhm.
came over to Rumble as well
Mhm.
because they saw the success I was having and everything else, and like, oh great, so they started bringing their stuff over. Well, whenever 4 months went by and I still hadn't got paid, they're asking me, "Hey, PutinBot, what's your experience with Rumble like?" So, well, it's great, except they haven't paid me yet. I'm like, well, what do you mean? YouTube pays me every month. And so then I kind of look like I look like a jerk because I'm the one that brought them over, talked them into streaming to YouTube and Rumble,
Yeah.
talked them into bringing their content over,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you're saying, "Oh, we can't get paid,"
Yep.
because then that looked bad on me too because I brought them over. And it's just
Yep.
like, what? That know what's going on. So I'm right there with you. They need to get their house in order.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up I'll rant or whatever or give a rant on Lumpy's thing, but at the end of the day, if I keep hearing about it, I'm going to keep bringing it up, and that's going to be something that Chris and them are going to have to figure out because transparency. They want to say they're
Yep.
transparent, but this is something they're not transparent on. And I will congratulate Rumble when it does well, but I will
Yep.
also admonish them when they don't. And of course, people are going to have their little indifferences of what is good or not. But for me, it's like content creator payout is something that's non-negotiable right off the bat. It's
Well,
money.
oh man, I'm right there with you. Again, as a small business owner, I mean, this is what I depend on, right?
Mhm.
And so just looking at the metrics, so if you look at your raw views and your unique views, and then if you look at your ad eligible, those
Yeah,
typically are at least relatively close together. At least they're are on my end.
right.
But the field metric is always about 30% less of what the eligible is, even though I have more views available.
Mm,
So what does that mean? Does that mean it's people are looking at are looking at videos from countries that Rumble doesn't have advertisers in? It could be. Who
possibly,
knows? Like
yeah.
if someone's watching a video in India, but Rumble does not have a advertiser buying ads in India,
Yeah, yeah,
then of course I'm not going to get a an ad hit for that.
yeah.
But the majority of people watching Rumble are in are in the European Union
Mm.
or North America, with the exception of France, because France has been fired by Rumble.
And
But
Brazil.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
Rumble, yep, France and Brazil. So
yeah.
I understand not getting paid ads from there, but
Mhm.
Rumble's not available there anyway. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what the metric is. What does this mean?
Mhm.
Let me see up under the hood. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Well,
Who's changed the oil last? You know?
yeah. And I've talked about doing like a 2.0 sort of thing, like creator panel. But the thing of it is, right, is that we need to have, we look at YouTube analytics.
Yep.
They do so far down the scale. It's insane. I don't even
Oh
pay
yeah.
attention to most of it. But the thing it is, right, is that Rumble doesn't have that. It just has a
Yep.
graph, a bar graph, I think it is. And
Yep.
then just all this up and down stuff. It needs to change. And of course, it's on the list, but my thing is content creator payout should be number one. Get it done. I will keep
Agreed.
bringing it up. If I get blocked by Rick and them, whatever, I will keep bringing it up, and I will keep stating the fact. I keep hearing about it. And of course, it also should be noted too, is if you have had issues with payout, right, always keep a either a physical or some form of physical evidence, right? Because they can easily ignore you when you don't have what you say you have, and they don't see it. It's like,
The
oh well, we don't see it, right? Or whatever. So, but
the best way to do it
mhm,
is send one email and then keep replying to the same email. Basically, keep replying to your same email chain.
yeah, yeah,
That way you have a whole history and include screenshots, so that
yeah.
way they can't wiggle out of it. And I mean that's what I had to do. I sent Mario probably. Oh God, it'd be so fun to get him on this call. That dude knows me by first name basis. I promise you he does, because I sent him like 50 emails. I blew him
Oh,
up three times a week, every week. It was like,
that's
Schmuck, you are not going to ignore me.
no, that's awful. That should not. Again, my thing is like whether what down the line, the resolution of what needs to be done. I mean, I know there's update stuff or stuff that like little tech stuff or whatever, but for creative payout, the end result should be is like within a week's time, you get an answer stating we are getting your money to you, or we need more information of maybe an email or something was messed up, or sorry, mailing address was set up, missed, whatever. But it should always be within a week's time because again there's business days, right, not on the weekends, you know how that goes, but it needs to be taken care of. That's one big thing that it is as all I'm going to keep hitting on. I don't care who you are. I don't care how in depth you are to Rumble. We're going to treat it like every other company until it starts showing that it's different and paying attention and listen. And yeah, there's some things they pay attention on, but this is a big red flag of concern. And if they don't pay attention to it, light up the fireworks, because there's no way in heck you're going to continue to get away with not having something there to be responded to. Like, you keep telling people to go to this route, but the response is sort of like, oh, we'll get back to you when we can. And it's just like, oh, we've elevated to this. And like, no, I need an answer now.
Yeah.
So, and
right
of course, content like the contracted Rumble people, like Quartering and Viva Fry and all this stuff, they are in a different space pay wise. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to go to the Quartering to get something resolved. I can go to support Rumble, go there, get my answer a week later. It says it's coming to you in so and so time. Done. That's how it should be. Customer service. And of course, there's going to be jerk customer service. It happens. But if someone's coming with a great concern about, hey, I'm not getting paid, then it should be followed up with, okay, let's look at what's going on.
Couldn't agree with you more.
So anyway, it's the top of the hour. We are now at the second hour. So I know, so even though it's short, go ahead and re-promote yourself to whatever degree. And then we'll go to my end. So whenever you're ready.
Sounds good, brother. Yeah, I mean, short and sweet. I am your favorite Russian bot, the master of misinformation, PutinBot. You can find me at PutinBot Gaming on Rumble and on YouTube. You can also find me over on Twitter. Asterisk, though, I don't know how long I'll be on YouTube because they don't like Russian bots over there. So probably get swatted with a ban hammer. The owner of West Glacier Gaming LLC. And if you want to see what I'm doing, go to westglaciergaming.com. And there's no whole lot there. I got to build the website, but I'm working too damn much.
There you go. The man is already sweating to death, and he's like, I'm here, guys. All right, let's go. Ooh, all right. Even right now, he's sweating because he's got another hand working on the computer. Like, let's get this done.
Let's make it happen. Oh, man. You'll never put in more hours than you work for yourself.
Yeah.
Never.
Exactly. But at least
it sucks. I passed myself on the road yesterday.
Hey, I know that guy. Oh, again.
It looks like my brother. Oh, wait.
That's myself. No, but it still can be a bit rewarding because you're more freer than, because I tell you what, working the job, there's some dumb people who can't communicate. And I just like, some of these businesses fail because communication is like a lost child, and everyone just keeps passing the hot potato of a child. Like, no, this child, you could find the parent for him, right? Like, no, you could find the communication, because even in life too, communication becomes a dunce because it's like, I can't compute how to communicate. It's like, do you speak words that I can understand? And you say yes. And I say, okay, well, we got something. We got something here. So you'll find me on YouTube and Rumble under @Daramouthe. And other places fine. I upload the same content on both ends, so you won't miss on either. I also have a fan account on Twitter X @Daramouthe. I also have a Discord @Daramouthe. It's just for DMing, and I have an email. So if you want to get hold of me to have the same sort of kind of close to conversation, not the same, but it's close to conversation like with PutinBot here, the only one PutinBot. You can go to my Twitter X fan account, DM me there. You can DM me @Daramouthe on Discord, and you can email me at crazer6@protonmail.com. That's CRAZZER6@protonmail.com. Those three places, any one of those three, pick one of those three, go to them and say, I'd like to join this, or I'd like to be on and have a conversation about just about anything, and we can get started. I can't tell you how it's still difficult because I'm still trying to chase after people in a sense, not in a negative way, but still chasing after. But at the end of the day, the goal is there of what to get. It's just for right now, it's still going to be chasing until people start seeing that credibility build up, because that's the other part of this conversation is credibility. So, but I've got next week, I have a full.
The funniest Russian bot out there. Thanks, Phoenix. That's right.
The funniest Russian bot, the most southern Russian bot you'll ever hear of too. He's very southern. But yeah. So next week I'll have about five days full, just not in order. But after that, April is sort of, it has like one person, that's it. So I'm still chasing people, and that's never too easy. But I'm always surprised that I'm still able to get somebody on. And I have people who I can come back to and say, "Would you like to come on?" and stuff. So that's always nice too. But I'm trying to keep away from being a circle content creator. There's more. There's millions on Rumble, and there's billions on YouTube. I must go forth and try and see if they'll want to get on. Every one person that says yes, there's probably been like 5 to 10 people behind it that have either said no, said maybe, or nothing at all. And so the chase is what it is. But I'm going to get there. One day there's going to be people who will want to come on and say, "Let's set it up."
Hey, remember me when you're the next Joe Rogan, okay?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know who this person is. Good stream. No, thank you for being on. I know it's been just mostly talking about Rumble and content creation, but these are things important too that I don't think content creators skim over, or they don't want to be rude to like the whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is part of the ordeal, and you need to have those conversations. And again, we could still go anywhere. We've talked about him blowing up a street, and I'm like, oh, wow.
I did.
Yeah, blow up a street, hide in a tree, and stay there for the rest of the night.
I mean, do you want me to tell you the story? I can tell you the story. It
Well,
won't
you-
get it won't get kicked off of YouTube.
No, you're fine. If you want to go tell it, go for it.
Hey, I mean, hey, why not? So y'all, those y'all who are listening, go grab yourself a beverage, grab yourself a snack. 'Cause this is going to be a good one. I promise you, you've not heard a story like this one probably ever. So, gosh, this is back in the 90s.
Yeah, no,
And
sorry, to Phoenix. Yeah, soon you'll have 12 months long of. Yeah, no, that's what I'm aiming for, because again, it's not that I want to appear lazy, right? It's more of like, it's very stress anxiety when you're like, I can do the show by myself. I have done Dare Chat solos by myself. It's just, there's so many people in the world, and there are so many stories and things to talk about, that it's sort of a sad notion when they can't see me, someone who's, other than troublemakers, other than bad actors, is willing to accept almost anyone, high or low, to just come on and have a conversation. That's the whole point of this. Even if I don't get donos, even if I don't get likes, the whole point is this. Everything else is a bonus. Followers, donos, likes, all that's a bonus to the ultimate goal. Because how many content creators do you see out there right now going, or your favorite content, right? They go out there and they're like, "Would you like to come on so and so?" How many have invited PutinBot on? How many have invited Heck and the Y on? How many have invited like Crash Gesture on? Even though, and some of the, again, I've had VTubers, non-creators, creators. I've had all different shapes, and that's the point. It's not to just have creators; it's to have other people. Oh, there we go. There,
that's it.
that's the cat thing. But yeah, no, I apologize. It's just to answer that one. But yeah, hopefully one day that will be the case, and I'd rather have a wait list than still trying to struggle. But I won't be lazy about it either. I won't be lazy about it. So, but anyway, sorry about that. Just go ahead with your story. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, man, no. You're not being no problem at all. Yeah, no, it was just the middle of the summer. I was bored. I don't know, 14, 16, something like that, somewhere in there from the south. I've only have 10 fingers, so I ran out. I don't know exactly what there was at the time. Well, but there's nothing to do, right? So there's this road. It's called Highway 29. It's in Escambia County, Florida. The speed limit's 40, and everyone always goes about 100. That's just how it is. And so I was just watching this one day. I said, I got myself an idea. So I got a bunch of burnt motor oil and gasoline, mixed it up, and just ran it across the road in like a big, I don't know, like a 6 square yard patch, multiple times over about 6 or 7 days. It just soaked into that asphalt.
Okay.
So asphalt's made of oil, so it just soaks right on in. It's like 100 degrees outside in the shade, and so you got to have something to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just got out there on a nice Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was in the evening. Sorry, it was later in the day.
Right.
And there was this car coming, and if he wasn't going 100, I couldn't tell how fast he was going. The dude was flying.
Right.
So I lit myself a lighter knot, and I just chunked it out there in the middle of the road where all this oil and gases have been soaking in over multiple treatments for the last 7 days. Well, it looked like Armageddon. Like the street just went up. It was just this massive fireball. And this car just went through it, doing donuts, slinging fire, melted asphalt. And it was a highway patrolman.
Oh.
It was a cop. So this is the only car I'd seen for like 2 hours, and a county mountie would have been bad enough, but no, this was a Florida highway patrolman going through a wall of fire. So discretion being the better part of valor, I decided it's a good idea to start hiding before he gets his faculties about it. So I climbed up to the top of the biggest oak tree I could find, and after a little bit, about half the sheriff's department was there. They brought out their dogs, and I got lucky because it started raining.
Oh, wow.
And so I ended up spending all night long in the top of this oak tree in the middle of a thunderstorm, looking down, watching the cops walking up under the tree with their flashlights, with their dogs, but they couldn't catch the scent because it was raining. And long story short, I spent all night up in that tree, treated like a squirrel. When they finally left, I went home, and I got home about 7 in the morning, looked like a drowned rat. And my daddy was sitting there in his chair. He had the TV on, and on the news was about an arson attack on U.S. Highway 29. And I come walking in. My daddy just looked at me, and he said, "Boy, was it you?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, at least you wasn't caught." That's all he said. I kid you not. At least you wasn't caught.
That's true. You weren't caught. It was raining that day. That helped you up.
Man, it did. But I burned. I melted about a good 70 yards of asphalt because you couldn't put it out because it's oil based. So it just kept burning north and south on the road.
My gosh.
I'm not sure what I was expecting to happen, but damn sure wasn't that. And it surely was not with a highway patrolman. But pretty sure that the statute of limitations has expired, so I feel safe telling the story to you and the whole world now.
Well, then you're not in the same state anymore, so you're out of state.
Well, nowadays, I guarantee you that it would be the Department of Homeland Security out looking for a domestic terrorist instead of just some teenager playing a prank. But I mean, it's a different world, though, different time.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can always tell when things change. It's like, stranger danger, right? When stranger danger came to the whole thing, and of course, I mean, even before stranger danger, there were still, probably instances of children getting abducted or whatever. But you could at least your parents could trust you more a bit outside, and there wasn't as too much of it. But once that started ramping up, I think that kind of put more and more people keeping close, keeping kids inside, and all this stuff. And that kind of just, it's a human nature thing where it's like one side of the coin ruins the other side. And you're just like, well, we got to play the game, and it's not fair, but that's life, and it sucks. I know, but
oh hell, man. Well, back when I was a kid, I'm talking like I'm old. God, am I old? I don't know. I used to walk up and down the road there in South Alabama and Florida with a rifle shooting squirrels.
Wow.
I'm just walking up down the highway, shooting squirrels, take them home, cook them. You can't do that nowadays. They'd put you up under the pokey.
Yeah.
But to tell you what, those squirrels is a fine meal.
I don't doubt it. My grandpa would tell me that the black squirrels were always the worst. They were just those mean little monsters. So black squirrels.
No, back home we just had the gray ones. But
the gray ones?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you ever come here to Montana, I'll feed you a good meal. No squirrels though. Have you ever had buffalo?
No, I have. I've no bison. Sorry, I've had bison. There's a restaurant that serves sort of like a bison, meat as an appetizer, and so I have had. It doesn't taste very different. It doesn't taste like out of the ordinary. But I have had bison. I don't know how much different that is. There are no gray hairs than 20 years ago.
That's a fact.
But no, I think I've had lamb. I believe I may have had venison in the sense of like jerky, but there's a lot of different meats I haven't, like, there's always like crocodile and all that stuff. But no, I don't think I've had I don't think I've ever had squirrel, or I think raccoon is like another one that people some
Oh,
people eat.
raccoon's a fine meal. It's salty. The meat's salty, but tastes good.
I know there's a bear meat one. I know people do goose or geese, or duck. I know. No, wait. I think duck is the one they do. I could go to I could go to New York and get some. Yes, you could, Phoenix. Yes, you could.
Tell, tell you what, if I was stuck in the middle of New York City, I'd be busting me some rats and frying them up. Hey, you can take the redneck out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the redneck.
That's true. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's right. There's
Pretty
those
much.
idioms. Yep.
No, no, but
Uh,
speaking about that though, the wife is about ready. She's got dinner made, so I have to
okay.
cut this off here soon.
Oh no, no, thank you. And there you go. So yeah, quickly, sir, promote
Yeah,
yourself. Promote yourself before you go.
I am your favorite Russian bot, the master of misinformation,
He's
PutinBot.
right.
You can
Yep.
find me live and in color here on Rumble at PutinBot Gaming.
Hmm.
You can also find me at YouTube at PutinBot Gaming.
Hmm.
And you can also find me at Twitter at PutinBot Gaming. You can see a theme here. I
Hmm.
am your official Russian bot with a southern drawl who blows up roads and eats squirrels.
Not in
And if
that
you
order.
and if you need to cut something up to make some shorts, brother, I just gave you the perfect short right there. I am the Russian bot, the southern drawl who blows up roads, eats squirrels, and influences elections.
Oh yeah,
Do it all.
you kind of, the thing of it is you kind of have to keep you have to buy credits to do it, to do a whole stream because of our stuff. But no, I definitely will. I've already done two different people, two different parts of the stream, and I'll continue that with others. But you'll definitely be in a short.
Oh,
But
no, are you? Do you have OBS?
I have OBS, but I'm using a program, the Opus one, and it's just there's a lot of going through a stream and wait for the moment, and sometimes it works out. But I don't know if you've seen it or not on my Rumble. I've posted the shorts there.
Let me look and see.
Yeah, but before you get into that, so I stream to both YouTube and Rumble. I at
Yeah,
Daramouthe and on either or.
yeah, go
And,
follow this man.
yeah.
This fella right here is going to be a big old podcaster one day with y'all's help. Make it
Uh,
happen.
I will try my best. But anyway, so I upload the same content to either or live streams, of course, but they're the shorts and stuff will go to both. But you can find me at the fan account on Twitter X. I have a thing on Discord at Daramouthe. I also have an email. Those three places, the Twitter X, the Discord, and the email, are the three places you can catch me at if you want to come on the show. Again, if as long as you have a mic, as long as you're respectful, big or small, I don't care. We can come on and have a conversation. I know some people don't think they can, but you'd be surprised once you get them talking about certain stuff or whatever, like a sport or a like comics, whatever. There's always something to talk about. But we have the whole universe to talk about. So don't worry about thinking there's nothing to talk about. So, but
You can even come in with a non-working webcam.
yeah, no, yeah.
No, I mean,
Well, it's not your fault. It's more of Rumble Studios. But yeah, no, I've had another person on who didn't want to be seen. So it's okay. It's okay as long as people can hear
yep,
you, as long as you're respectful. Done. That's all you need. Those two things. And of course, like the big curse words. But I mean, we should all know what those are. That's it.
yeah.
That's three things right there. I've just named three simple rules. See, three simple things, and that's it.
Three
I'm
rules
probably
for life.
Three rules for life. I'm probably less restrictive than those other content creators, so don't worry about it. And we can always talk about that stuff beforehand when we're setting up. So don't fret. Don't be worried. Don't think you're weird. Don't think you have nothing to say, because you won't know until you get to that point. So, Mr. PutinBot, I thank you, and I will keep you on the list for if I need somebody. But even then, you are always welcome back, like I have said to the others. So don't fret on that. And hopefully next time, you'll be able to show off your wonderful Montana face.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, because I wasn't thinking about using the OBS camera. I was just using the webcam there with Rumble Studio, and for
Yeah,
whatever reason,
it's
I
not
was
working.
no, I was landscape. So you had a really nice view of my chin.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the hell? Because everything else, it's vertical. It's upright vertical. The air is going in and out. Blood's going
Yeah.
around and around. It's working all right. But
Yeah.
Rumble Studio was just like, yeah, no, there's something wrong. This Russian bot, the anatomy is wrong here. We got to change something up. And it just was not having it.
It'd be like Mr. Wilson from the Home Improvement, where you just see the top of his face but not below. It'd be something like that.
Well, with me, it'd be the opposite. Like you'd see the bottom of my nose and my jaws flapping. And you're like, what the hell is this? I mean,
Is this a Muppet? What's going on here? What's going on?
I don't know.
So, but again, when you watch this stream or other streams, you see how easy it can be for having a conversation. And again, don't think that you can't, because you'll never know until you get to that point. So again, I thank all those who came to watch. I thank Mr. PutinBot for coming on. He didn't have to, but I tell you what, it's been amazing. So never regret that. So anyway,
buddy, hey, next time I come, I got more stories for you. And Galaxy, I want to thank you for following my channel. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Galaxy, for coming on. I know he was talking about himself not being able to do stuff because of medical reasons, but you know what? That's okay. When you can do it or you want to do it, do it. Don't wait.
You let me know, Galaxy, whenever you're ready to push that live button, and we'll do a collaboration.
There you go. See, and I'm trying to get him on, but again, he has his stuff. So I'll wait till the day he's ready to go. But anyway, thank you guys for being in here. I appreciate you all, and you'll probably see something on Twitter X of that nature. But right now, as I play an intro video, I play an outro video. So, and it's of the same artist, obviously, because I don't get copyright for anything played by him. So that's great, because you can still, hold on, my camera's kind of getting flimsy on me, but you could get copyright by just playing whatever. So we're gonna play one of his. We're gonna play out that. So if you want to go out during the video, that's fine, PutinBot. But if you're gonna stay during the video, just kind of mute your mic, because you can't still hear. So, but anyway, thank you guys, and enjoy the video. Hold on, I gotta get there first. Hold on, and enjoy the video. See you tomorrow. Oh, that's right. See you tomorrow, Friday, the PIF stream, Pay It Forward stream at 7 p.m. Eastern. Again, I will put that stuff up on Twitter X, and I will see you then. Thanks, guys.